You've seen him for years as Hollywood's bad guy on TV and in movies. Now, listen to him right here. Here's your host, the multi-talented Jasper Cole.
Hollywood Oh, there we go. We're back. This is our Sunday worship service, as you know, with Reverend Cole and Cole. So let's go.
Oh, I like that.
You're going to sing us a good old
Negro
minstrel, Ralph?
Yeah, that is very appropriate.
Sing a little for us, would you?
For Cinco de Gallo.
Wow.
Hello, planet Earth, and welcome.
That is my way too gay sidekick, Ralph Cole Jr. Let's give him a big shout out.
Thank you, planet Earth.
But Ralph, this is perhaps going to be the gayest show ever, don't you believe?
It will be the gayest show ever because in honor of Cinco de Mayo, we are celebrating Cinco de Gallo here at On the Set with Jasper Cole. Everything gay, all gay, gay, all the time.
Allegedly.
We're
not going to out anyone.
I'm exhausted.
And that voice that you just heard
is our very special guest co-host, the very talented, hilariously talented, Mr. Jason Stuart.
God, the audience here is so big.
It's a 4-camera show.
Oh, 4. I
2.
think there's 8 cameras. I've known you guys forever, and I had no idea you had the same last names because I'm so self-involved.
Well, God bless you.
I just realized that you were related.
We're brothers from another mother.
Right.
It's okay.
Totally.
Exactly.
Well, it's okay.
Thanks for joining us on this worship service. We're
I
all
am.
non-denominational.
I'm from the Jewish
Shalom, Shabbat. We have Jewish. We have Christian.
I'm a weekend Jew. I don't do anything unless there's a wedding, bar mitzvah, or a funeral. Otherwise, I'm just like you. One joke. Took my mother to see Guilt Trip. She says, am I anything like that? I said, no, not at all. You're worse.
You're the one person that saw that movie.
No. Made almost,
almost
$40 million. Let's not diss
Give it
Barbara.
up. Yes.
Let's not put the negative vibes out on Barbara.
Wow.
I will snap.
That's it. It is a gay show. I forgot.
will
Planet Eartha, you are hearing other laughter in the room, and I'd like to move the baton on to our...
We have a speaking baton. What are we at, a group counseling
Time's
meeting?
up.
Yes, once the baton has moved, we keep a moving. We got to keep this bitch going. To the right of the illustrious and incomparable Jason Stuart, we have Bruce L. Hart, actor extraordinaire.
Brucey.
Oh my God, it's so nice to be here. Oh my God, I haven't seen Jasper since...
In a coon's age.
Yeah.
And Ralph, that had nothing to do with you.
Okay, I happen to be a coon, Planet
Thank
Earth,
you.
so that
I wasn't even going to
that's
say
a
how
little-
long it was.
But you were thinking that. Yeah.
Well,
I
we
can't
did
believe
a
it.
stage show together, that thing that ran for 3 years.
It started with a lie that you produced.
Do you know, I got to say this really quick. Do you remember what the plot line of that play was?
Something about a formula and you drank it. And
No, but this guy's
I think
boss
that was a date he was
coming
on.
to the house from
Right.
the office, and he was afraid she would find out he was gay.
Oh, that's right.
That was the plot. Can you imagine if we produced that today? Be like, well, if she's got a problem, you can just call your lawyer, right?
Right.
Oh my God.
And
It's
they have
literally a
a
5-minute play. It'd be over in 5
exactly.
minutes.
No,
In and
it
out.
was
It would be a
hilarious.
webisode.
Yeah.
Bruce was hilarious.
I don't
in
even
that.
have time for
You were
webisodes. I'm
great.
so fast.
Okay. Speaking of webisodes, well, Bruce is one of the
Nice
stars.
segue.
Thank you. Someone has to
Exactly.
get control
We're
of
the
the show.
king of Segway here, too.
Of the
you
hit
guys.
series Old Dogs and New Tricks, and the creator and true star of that show is a return guest and a former guest co-host, Mr. Leon Acord.
Yes, working.
Woo-hoo. Welcome back.
One of the stars.
Well, I mean, of course.
One of the actors.
The world
It's an ensemble.
I forgot to ask.
according
as my
to Leon.
as a guest co-host, what are my duties? I forgot to ask.
He said duty.
You are to fill in any dead air with a joke,
Fill in any gaps and talk about yourself as much as you want.
which I know is a
Like,
stretch.
Oh, yeah.
for
but-
example,
Oh, you guys are so
Listen,
mean.
I'll throw out a series, and you tell me if you've been on it. The closer, go.
Yes, I have. Kara Cedric.
okay.
I played a guy who talked like this. I was a straight guy on it. I played Greg Lewis. Yeah.
You were very
really
good on
great.
that.
We
We commented on it. We'll give props where props are due, right,
Definitely,
Ralph?
you were really great on that because it really makes you a character actor because you can do a lot of different things, and it was really like blue collar.
Yeah.
And it was a great scene.
I was
opposite
actually
her.
wearing a blue collar at the scene, too.
It was crochet.
It's
but-
yeah, no, it's interesting because they made a big deal out of that. That was so weird. Isn't that strange about the clothes? Because they wanted me to wear something that looked like a with a name tag and something on. Then everybody they had like discussions on what shirt. They said, "What you said?" I don't care. I said I have a job.
As long as the check clears, who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly. Yeah,
I
yeah.
shared a hot tub with her recently.
Oh, with
Kira?
Yeah, I was at a spa in
right.
Laguna, and she was there, and I'm looking around. I'm like, well, if Kira's here, then Kevin Bacon's got to be here somewhere.
Wow.
And
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there. He was reading a script. She was in the hot tub. We were having drinks. We weren't really talking, though, but we were next to each other.
Well,
and
she's very New England. Do you know what I mean? She's a real nose to the grindstone gal, and I got to tell you, it was one of the best acting experiences I've ever had. And it was she didn't have a lot of lines in the scene. I was basically the one giving all the information, you know. And what's really interesting in the scene is that she was so present. It sort of brought me to the next level. You know what I mean? It really, and Ralph knows what I'm talking about because I can tell from the look on his face.
He doesn't know where he's at.
It's okay.
But go ahead.
No, but
I'm
it
listening.
really is
Jason.
true. It really is true. She really, you know, when you work with someone's great, no matter whether they have a million lines or whatever's happening in the scene, she's so present
Right.
and so about the work. It was just, I mean, I love that. I love that shit.
She
Love
was
it.
a great show.
Because that's all I really care about when I'm working. Honestly, that's
Right.
You know, I didn't care what color shirt I wore.
No, it's
Didn't
funny how
matter.
much time and effort they put into this. sort
Oh,
of
it was
things that
hysterical. You
let
know,
the director check it and double check it.
And I was just
and-
wearing a button-down blue shirt. You know, it was
Right.
like enough. The only thing I didn't like is when I went like this, it went up and made me look fat. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, that's important, especially in television.
And then I
right?
did a film with James Franco that he produced recently called Holy Land, and I played a hoarder. And they actually said to me on the phone, you guys know what this is like. They called me. They said, "Do you have any hoarder clothes?" And I said, "No." I said, so I
like
got to
stained shirts.
Yeah,
and
they asked me
stuff?
for dirty, ugly clothes. I said, no.
Not that I know
No.
about that.
And I got to the set, and the guy whose house we were using was a hoarder. And I saw he had this car loaded with jackets. And I said, could I wear a couple of those? And everybody went, ugh.
I didn't know they shot at your house.
No, if they would have
That's
been
a whole other
bright
story.
orange
Yeah.
and green, and all the clothes from
Well,
that
no,
girl.
I mean, hoarder clothes could be like corduroy. Because
That
you know,
girl.
if you had been hoarding, you would have
1960s.
been
Have it-
hoarding.
yeah,
you know,
for a
you'd have
while.
corduroy or plaids. So you know that could have been appropriate. you
Well,
know.
hoarders have different. Do you watch hoarders on AO?
Yeah, I watch it. Oh my
do?
god.
I-
Well,
Yeah.
there's different
Oh.
divisions of hoarders. You know, there's the ones who save plastic bags, and there's food hoarders.
That's true. Yeah.
I know, but I
mean-
can only watch so much after a while, and then I just thought, honey,
get
clean
I
that
start
house.
to itch.
Sick. You
I
see
just
things
can't.
like bugs. I know it. You put on an
Yeah.
outfit from a hoarder. Were you scratching afterwards?
But sometimes they look very presentable in public. Like they're teachers, and
I don't know. I
you
actually know a hoarder, and he said, "I've got a gift for you," and hopefully he's not listening. And I said,
You're
"Oh,
still dating?
Well, really? We weren't dating. He's straight." Anyway, we walk over to his
And-
car. His car is piled up with garbage all the way up. And I
Oh.
said, "How do you see out the back?" And he said, "Well, I just got a ticket recently." So he opens up the trunk. This jar of tomato sauce sort of rolls towards
Oh.
us, and I'm like, "You're going to give me that?" And he hands me this book. It was just covered with smegma, and it was about
Smegma?
Do you know what
Wow.
smegma is?
stars of the 40s. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just like,
I don't think he
what
does.
the hell am I supposed to do with this? So I said, thank you very much. And, he took off and I threw it
If
in
he
the
did, he wouldn't have
trash.
accepted
No,
the book.
you would not have. You would not have touched
Would you
it.
guys know Angeline? You know
Oh, of
she's
course.
a hoarder. She's like
She's a
living
hu-
out of her car. The
Is
other day,
she's
was
100. It's
Is she
wait,
really?
Before you
She
because this
is?
is a national show, and
Yes.
as the guest co-host, I want to
Please
have-
explain
Special
who
guest.
Exactly.
Angeline
Special
is.
guest.
Don't you
Special
love
guest.
it when Jason is dominant?
Yeah,
Right.
because I'm the
It
dad.
happens so rarely.
I am the dad.
Those are the ones that surprise you. They do surprise you.
Yeah, I'm the daddy, and I have candy. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
But Angeline
I'm diabetic.
is
Go
yeah, you'd be lucky, baby. Angeline is sort of a Los Angeles, West Hollywood icon. She drives around in a pink Corvette. She's probably 106
At least.
and has had so much surgery that there's actually nothing left in her shoes. There's just these little boots that follow her, and she has these really
She wears
big,
hot pants.
She's really big boobs.
Hot
and,
pants.
Yeah, and she's got this sort of weird kind of face if she moves in the wrong way.
And for years, the rumor was she had a really, really rich sugar daddy that was paying for all those billboards. Remember?
And she was in Moonlighting. Her billboard was in Moonlighting, the Bruce Willis
Yeah.
series. In
Her
the 80s.
billboard was.
Yeah.
And she's her billboard and her things have been in stuff, but I don't know exactly what she
Nobody
does.
does. She was the original like Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
But without the money.
Without money or name.
Yeah.
And
the
But he has
Icon,
to-
though? Icon? That's...
Well,
Icon?
infamous?
Well, I guess
or-
local Icon.
Notorious.
Well,
yeah.
infamous
Notorious.
is negative.
Yeah, you're right.
Notorious.
Yeah.
I mean, she probably. I've never seen her do anything negative though. When I've seen her at the French Market, and she comes over to a table. I was there, and Rip Taylor was there. She said, "Get her away from me! Get her! I'm not buying her goddamn magazine."
Rip, who brings his own wine to restaurants and mixes it with Diet Coke. Love you, Rip.
Yeah,
But
well, you know.
nothing. No
You guys know all
judgment
the
here.
dirt.
If he wasn't
Wow.
here, we wouldn't be here.
Because we're Christians, we're Jewish, we're agnostic, and what are you guys? Jewish, Catholic,
Jewish.
Jewish,
Protestant, but
Laps.
You know,
just
it's okay.
total lapse.
It's okay to say Jew. People are so afraid to say it. They say you're a Catholic, but they never say you're a Jew. They say, "Are you of the Jewish faith?" Because there's some sort of
Like if
stigma.
you say
Have noticed
Jew.
that?
I think it's the A. Are you a Jew? Makes it sound like a...
No. It's called when my father used to say if they say dirty Jew, then
well,
you know
that,
you're in trouble.
yeah, that's like yeah.
And
there's-
I don't. For some reason, that is a slur to some people. Jew, Jew.
He does that better than
I
me.
just want to do one thing before I forget. I want to do a big shout out to Quentin Lee, who produced a film called Big Gay Love.
Oh, okay.
And he's a wonderful openly gay Asian filmmaker who has a big piece on him in the LA Weekly.
Oh.
And yeah, he's really terrific and really supportive. He's got his film White Fong in this weekend. And
is Ann Walker in that also?
yes, she is.
Ann Walker, who owns the
this radio
station, is also in that.
She's the mom.
They put a blonde wig on
Yeah,
her.
she plays
said.
a sort of Jewishy or Jew.
She's
mom.
a Jew mom.
And yeah,
Thank you.
Own it, Ann.
and Drew Droege and I play these sort of Republican lovers in the film who have
I love
this
Drew.
who have
That's
this
fabulous.
child that I don't really want, and we welcome these people to this gay neighborhood.
Like log cabin Republican.
I think so. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah.
I had a whole backstory.
Of course you did. Your method.
Yeah, and
I know
then
that.
the whole thing was about liking the kid, and then when I walked away, and the dialogue was, I said, I just did all this improv. I said, why do we have to have this kid? It's ruining our lives. I feel trapped. I don't have a life. And I was like, and then the stroller got caught in the screen door, and they left all. I think that's all in the movie.
Was there a kid in the stroller?
Oh yeah, somebody's kid. I didn't like him.
of course not. He had more
Well, I
camera
can't
time.
have kids. I have nice furniture.
Well,
Anyway,
you're past that age, aren't you?
oh yeah, I can't give birth anymore.
No, you've had a hysterectomy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Fully. Well, speaking of hysterectomies, our entertainment dish with Dara will be joining us. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here live. And Ralph, what are you doing?
Can we talk to her?
Ralph, he's like up in my space. This is see this line, Ralph?
Because you're hot.
Back at
Look at your-
thank you. Look at me. What?
I just needed the keyboard.
Thank you. Well, you're all reaching below and up. Okay.
I was thinking
anyway,
it was wireless.
Dara's gonna call in with her entertainment dish. So.
Okay, that's
Yay.
great.
Hey,
And she's
Dara.
not had a hysterectomy. She has 2 kids. She did want to have a third one. I talked her out of it, Ralph.
Oh.
Thank God. right?
Oh,
Would it
why
never
I
happen?
said,
would anyone
bitch,
want?
why would you have another baby? It's more money for you.
Why
to
does
spend.
any woman have a second one? I just
There's nothing wrong with being an only child, right?
no.
I don't know why you can't just have cartoon cutouts. Anyway, so let's talk about old dogs and new tricks.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's
So this is
segue.
the second season just ended.
It just ended.
I've watched almost all of them. I keep thinking I'm
Wow.
watching them out of order because I don't know. For some reason, the way emails come, it just confuses me, and I hold one, and then I don't know
Thank
what
you
happened.
for watching them.
Yeah,
That's
Of
thank
course,
you.
you're my buds.
Cool.
So the show's doing really, really well. I see
down.
they're in the thousands and thousands on each
Yeah.
DVD. You have let the folks know at home where they can find the show. First.
You can find us at olddogsnewtrickstheseries.com, or if you're just on YouTube, we're Old Dogs the Series. We're on Facebook, Old Dogs the
So
Series.
you have the series is housed on a YouTube page,
Correct.
And you have your own page, your own
Yeah.
or your own channel is what they call it, right?
Yeah, they call them channels.
So tell us, because I'm really always fascinated on this. Tell us what you're doing to promote the series and how you're monetizing it. So how you're letting people know, because that's the newest thing now. Is how do you let everybody's doing a web series, but how do you
Yeah.
let people know?
Actually, the other
That's
day,
the hardest part, isn't it?
someone said to me the other day, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I thought it was a really funny line. He said, remember that line people used to say about opinions are like assholes? Everyone has one and they all stink. He said, in LA, you have to replace opinion with web series.
Wow.
Everyone
Ouch.
has one. I don't think
That was
they
a good
all
line.
stink. But it is a good
No,
line.
but
isn't it?
I do think that the internet is sort of everybody. There is a lot of them.
There's a lot, and you really have to
And the
work hard
quality.
to stand out. And the
I just
quality
had a
kind
meeting
of-
with Funny or Die, and they're doing a big change there over
Mm-hmm.
trying to get some more, because I think it was quality and quantity is what they were trying to do.
I just saw you do a guest spot on Oh, the one with Michelle Lee. I can't. I can't.
Oh, I did 2 episodes. Of
Yeah,
that. Funny. It's called Fumbling Through the Pieces.
Fumbling
yeah,
through-
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. We
Yeah,
saw that
yeah.
at Hollywood.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I played another straight guy in that.
But
I
it's-
played a guy who works at a
it's a
gas station.
trend.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
cool to
God.
see. I mean, the names that web
When they
TVs
said
attracting
Michelle
people.
Lee and Diane Delaney was in it,
I
people
love
know
her.
her.
Oh, I love
but when
her.
they said Michelle Lee was in it, I was like, man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hello, you know.
Yeah, I think it's just, the industry's really changed the past 10 years, 20 years.
Well, I also do
Anyway.
think that people forget about people. And it's
Absolutely.
really-
Oh, absolutely.
It's really awful.
Indeed, they do.
because
Absolutely.
I say, and she was such a joy to work with. Though I didn't work with her, but I worked the party with her. But I had known her before because she and her ex-husband, used to come to the Improv all the time.
David
Rappaport.
Oh, wrong.
No,
wrong
that-
ex-husband.
no, but
She had several.
She had Frank Ferrantino.
Yeah, he died. He died.
That
Recently.
was her son's dad, and they were also really close. They worked together still after they got divorced. They did a couple of TV movies together.
Wow.
God, he was so handsome.
He was.
Wonderful actor.
He was. He
You know.
So what was the set like there, Jason, for that show?
Oh, it was fun. It was just this woman had called me on the phone. She said, "Hey, I saw you on The Closer. We know your work. We'd love you. Would you come in and do this?" And they actually took me to dinner.
Wow.
I mean, I thought that was really nice.
She's
Wow.
really charming. I met her at the Hollywood thing, and we
Yeah.
chatted quite a bit, and she's
So,
so nice.
How come the guest stars on Old Dogs New Tricks don't get taken to dinner, Leon?
Well, maybe the 3rd season.
Maybe well, we give them a very good lunch.
Right.
Just
we
giving
eat
him
really
hell.
well.
It was just
Speaking of big guest stars, Greg Louganis,
Thank you.
Ian Buchanan.
Oh,
Greg
indeed.
Louganis is on this one of these reality shows now, right?
No, he's
Splash.
got a show called
Splash.
Splash.
Oh,
yeah.
the contest show,
Yeah,
contest.
show.
Yeah.
He's sort of the coach or
Yeah,
the
one of the
advisor.
advisors
Oh,
as
you
well.
Good
guys,
for him.
I have to tell you something really quick. When we were getting fitted for our tuxes for the wedding sequence in Old Dogs New Tricks, this older gentleman came up and he said, "You boys are getting married?" And Greg didn't say, "No, we're not getting married." Well, then the guy mentioned he was
shy.
going to Aruba. And Greg just says, "Well, I go to Aruba all the time." And he said, "I'm going to get on the phone and call a friend and give you some places where you can go in Aruba." So he gives this nice old man all these places to go in Aruba, and the man just walks off. And he never says, "I'm Greg Louganis." It was just amazing.
That's how he is.
I
He's
know.
like he's
Oh, well,
so cool.
But come on, how do you? Hi, I'm Greg Louganis. Here's the information.
No, but
Hi.
you can, you know how some celebrities are. They like enter a room and they don't have to say their name. You just like get the vibe. Like, okay, they think they're someone important. We had a lot of background artists the days that he shot and posed for pictures, answered questions, was the
sweetheart.
nicest.
Oh, that's great.
And I've never seen so many cameras appear out of
And
nowhere.
that
when he
love it.
man
stood up.
was born to wear a tux. I was having trouble with
Yes,
the cravat thingy that you tie. Still don't know what it is anyway. And Greg comes over, ties my shoes for me.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
I really wanted to get married.
Well,
know?
Jeffrey Patrick Olsen tied my ties for me. So, yeah, you are not
See?
a stranger.
There you have it.
Who's tying
have-
my shit?
Yeah,
Nobody's
okay.
tying my crap.
I'll
And
do it if
Jeffrey-
you have me back
and
for season
so the
3.
people, I'll pull this over. Jeffrey is also in Old
Yes,
Dogs.
Jeffrey
Nutrition.
Patrick Olsen and
Remember
David
the people.
Pevsner.
I always think about the people at home because they're listening to this show going, "What the hell's going
Cool.
on?"
They're all talking about
Who's
people we
that?
don't know.
And
We're
if
talking about
anybody
Old
doesn't-
Dogs
if-
and New
And
Tricks.
if anybody doesn't know who Greg Louganis is,
The
he's
Olympic
Olympic gold swimmer, right?
Trailblazer
Gold medal
flying.
winner
Very
for diving.
iconic.
Diving.
Yes.
For diving.
Oh, diving is that?
You know,
what he-
it's interesting
Well, he
how
has the funny
people
cliffhanger
he
line.
kind of people know him. You know, a lot of really famous or good actors get forgotten, but for some reason, Greg's kind of. I was surprised how many people who were like in their 20s on set going, "Oh my God, that's Greg."
Yeah,
Right,
they're really
right.
excited.
Well, he had a great book too. Remember
Yeah.
his
He
autobiography.
gives back to the gay community and a lot of
Yeah,
other
he's
charities
very-
as
he's
well. I
very
mean, he's
involved.
not shy about that.
Yeah.
So I really respect him for that.
Well, listen, I think we have entertainment dish with Dara on the line. Is that
Yes.
possible? Are you there?
Hello.
Hi!
I can see all of you. I can see Ralph is not in his traditional orange, and Jasper, you're in
They have
gray. And
when did you install?
Look, Dara.
We have cameras.
Oh.
You guys be careful.
that's why
Here's
I'm
the
at
makeup
home, because
artist.
A ball
Jasper
just fell
installed
out,
cameras.
and 3 people were just hurt.
Some bats flew out too, I think. I'm not sure
No,
what that
Dara,
was.
I have my orange on at the bottom today.
He's wearing-
Okay, I can only see the top, and you're looking fine
No,
right
look.
next to Jasper in his gray.
Ralph, seriously, things are coming out that we don't.
It's very.
And
ge-
just
We're
to
not
clarify,
insured.
just to clarify on what you were all discussing, only Jews can say Jew.
Oh, but
That's
what,
it.
what about Jewess? You're
Jewess is fine.
Jewess. Okay, but you can't say Jew them down.
Oh, no,
I'm
you
asking.
can't.
Don't turn.
You can't at all.
What if you're married
That's
to a
definitely,
Jew?
not a nice thing to say.
What if you're married to a Jew, Dana? I have a question. What if you're a Jew-in-law? Are you allowed to say those things if you're...
It depends if you're a
It
top or
depends
bottom.
on the humor between the two of you.
It depends on who's
But
paying
that doesn't
the
give you
check.
permission to say it like in public to anybody other than just...
No,
say
hell
that
no.
anymore.
Hell no.
But I gotta say one thing is that I do think that stereotypes are not true most of the time. I don't have that experience.
No, they're not. I mean, it's interesting because people make remarks that Jews are cheap and et cetera. And
No.
I'm not cheap. My father has and was never cheap, and so I
Murray
don't really
Zane.
understand
Hey, Dr.
that.
Murray Zane. A little shout
Of
out to Dr.
course.
Murray Zane.
Yes, Dr.
Right.
Zane. Hello, Dr. Zane. He's
Is that your
probably
husband?
at his house or at
That's
my
her
sister's
dad.
house.
Is he a plastic surgeon?
Psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist.
Same thing.
You need-
Psychiatrist.
You need one in the family.
We're
Yeah.
all messed up because of it. It's
Well,
his
speaking of
fault.
fucked up, let's talk about entertainment. Who are we going to dish on this week?
I don't even know where to start. First, I guess we could start with Orange County Housewives, and Tamara Barney is out of control.
Oh, I hate reality.
Oh,
people.
Jason hates reality. This
They're
is
not
perfect.
even. They're not
this
even.
is perfect
they
for
are
him.
not celebrities, and we should.
Jason hates reality. Does
Yeah.
he not watch any reality?
No, why should we talk about them? They're not interesting.
Thank
No,
you.
I
I
agree,
love you,
Jason.
Jason
I
They're not-
Stuart.
totally
Thank
agree.
you.
Dara,
Who cares?
I do agree, but it is entertainment.
It
we
is
have
not,
a lot
no.
of listeners.
Yeah,
Our
yeah,
listeners
that's true.
love.
Well,
them.
not on the show that I co-host.
It's just only watch like PBS.
He's
and
turning.
National
He's
Geographic.
He's turning.
Get me the booze.
He's drinking and turning. It's getting.
I wouldn't watch one of those housewives. I'd rather have sex with Paris Hilton.
But Beverly
Oh,
Hills
wow.
Housewife,
With
they
or
want you
crabs
to.
or without?
Oh, does she have crabs now?
I don't know.
Who?
God, that was
The one who
rude.
slept with, what's his name?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Wow.
Unless she slept with someone that actually had a job someplace that did something. They could sing or dance or act.
Thank you.
Well, wait. Heather Page Kent is on the Real Housewives of Orange County. You remember?
Yes,
She starred on
she's an
That's
actress.
Life and the Jenny.
Really?
See, she went the
Yes.
reverse.
Well,
she
you
was an
know.
actress. Then she
Yes,
married
well,
a very
according
wealthy.
to Alexis Bellino, she doesn't know that she's an actress, but now she knows she's an
I was
actress.
on the-
She's
remember
done
we
it
talked
for-
about-
Wait. She doesn't know she's an actress?
No, the other woman didn't know. She had said in her bio, "I'm an actress," and Alexis, this other woman, said she is. I haven't seen her on
Dara,
anything.
this is why you should stop talking about them. They're crazy.
They are
That doesn't make any sense.
But Heather Page was a really good actress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what happened?
Well,
What-
she married this very wealthy plastic surgeon and moved
now-
down to
and now-
Dana Point or somewhere.
Really? And now she looks like Joan Rivers.
No, she
No, she
didn't.
doesn't. She hasn't had the work done.
What are you saying?
I
You
don't
think
know.
Jones had work?
Oh, please.
No, I thought Joan was Steven Tyler when I saw him. Oh,
no.
Wow.
Tell us about some
Ouch.
real
No,
people.
even Steven Tyler looks better.
Any actors or actresses to gossip about?
Yeah, Jason only
Well, we
wants
could
to.
talk about Reese Witherspoon. Do we think she's an actress?
I'm tired of
Do
her.
you
but
know
let's
Academy
talk
Award
about
Award-winning
her.
actress,
Yeah.
yes. I think that's so sad. Poor Reese. But she's got a really very indie film coming out called Mud with Matthew McConaughey, who has been on an incredible role of doing some really good work in independent films, which I really sort of admire. And I think so what? She's having a bad day. I've done the same thing. Haven't you,
You
Ralph?
said, "Don't you know
You've
who I
said
am?"
that?
And
Yes!
you had your partner
Oh,
tell
my
you to shut the
God.
hell up?
She did not say, "Don't you know who I am?"
Yes, she said,
She's-
"You're going to know who I am."
No, she
Dara.
said,
Okay.
don't you know my
Dara.
name?
You know my name.
Dara, you just changed the news. She did not say, "Don't you know?" She said, she's "You're going to know who I am," because she was panicked. She knew that it was going to be all
No,
over the news.
she also said, don't
She
you
is
know my
fake.
name before.
I heard it.
Well,
I think she thought she might get off.
I'm
if she
not one
mentioned
to
her
gossip, but I did I did a movie with Ryan Felipe, and we'll just
Oh,
leave
here
it.
goes.
We'll just leave it at that. Let me just say, Reese just showed who she really is. Unfortunately,
Yes.
Oh,
See?
come on.
That's her
name.
nose.
But don't you think she did
Your
really
husband-
good damage
Put the camera
control?
on Bruce. I have to see this Bruce. He's full of piss and vinegar. I like him.
I'm full of piss and vinegar. Oh,
Yeah.
Bruce,
But Dara, come
That's a
on.
compliment.
My feeling
I
is
know who
you-
Leon is because
you-
he looks just like Robert Plant.
yes. Robert Plant.
Okay.
But Dara,
My thing is, it's one thing to say something like that to a colleague in the industry. To say it to a quote-unquote civilian, I think is so fucking tacky. Can I
You know,
say?
Thank you.
Getting
Yeah,
pulled
fucking
over
tacky.
by
Yeah,
the
but come
police
on,
is very degrading, though. It's happened to me. I got pulled over. I have two cars. I have a nice car and a crappy car. The crappy car I use when I'm driving, to go to LA and things like
Grinder.
that. And I got pulled over. And I said, "Did you pull me over because I'm driving a crappy car or what?"
I think they hate Jews.
That's gotta be it. I'm telling you.
Blonde
Oprah.
Jews.
You have to follow Oprah's advice. She gave great advice. When you get stopped by the cops, no matter how mad you are, no matter how wrong they are, you suck it up. You
All
say,
right,
yes,
I was
sir,
arrested.
no, sir.
I was arrested for
Here we
screaming.
go.
I did my whole scene from Norma Ray when they pulled me into the
Oh,
back
no.
of a car when I was like in my 20s. But Dara,
Oh,
come
my
on.
God.
Wait,
She's-
let's
Yes.
back that up a second. Arrested for what?
I was
Yeah,
well,
let's clarify
It was in
that.
the
I was
gym
driving on
in the steam-
Willoughby, and I had been making a lot of left turns.
Which we know is not allowed.
Not
that
in those
neighborhood.
days. In
Yeah.
those days,
Yeah,
it was in my 20s.
Because if you go by twice, you're cruising.
When was this?
But how do they know?
it was in
What
the
year?
night. It was in the
Who monitors?
Bruce.
I
It was in
know.
the 1930s.
There's signs that say no left turns between.
They can hear the horse.
That's my
It's-
neighborhood.
I'm
so
just giving you a
yeah.
hard
But
time.
Dara, don't we have to say
Dara,
that
it's
Dara,
Dara.
whatever she's
Whatever.
calling herself?
It doesn't
today.
matter.
But don't you think, Dara? Don't you think that she's
Yes.
being arrested? Her husband is being arrested for drunk driving. She's panicked. She's a
Okay,
human
first
being.
of all, she knows her husband drinks. This is not the first time he has drank and drove. So I would be
Thank
sitting
you.
there saying, "Serves you right, sucker."
Exactly.
Where did you get this information?
What you should do is get a driver
Oh,
if you
come
can
on. This
afford
is
it.
not
You
the
know,
first
it's
time
insane.
they've had a few drinks and when they shouldn't have driven.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
was the first time they were caught?
I
How
have
do you know this?
zero tolerance
Because
for
it's
drunk driving.
obvious.
Me too.
I mean, you don't
Why is
just
it obvious?
one
Murder.
night, the first night you decide to drink and drive, you get pulled over for it. No, this is a pattern. They've probably done this in L.A. and maybe they've got pulled over and people did know who she was.
I'm
What he
having
should
a
do-
And they were
cookie.
nice to
This
her.
is
should
upsetting me
switch to
so much. I'm
prescription
eating
drugs.
carbs.
Jason,
Dara, this is
It's
upsetting.
binging
You're upsetting me
on
so
carbs.
much that I'm eating carbs right now.
of course, Reese is
I hope
welcome on
you're
the
eating
show
carbs.
anytime.
Anytime.
Right?
Exactly.
Anytime. If
We
you're
love
listening,
her.
Reese, we'll have you and
And it's
Ryan
not to say
calling
she's not a
together.
good actress. I was
No.
actually really stunned to hear that happened because
Everybody's
I
human, you
really,
know. I don't
She seemed
know,
like
I
the
just-
character from Legally Blonde in the.
You
in
so
that
you
scene.
really think what information do you have that she's drinking and driving with
It's
her
a police
with her
report.
husband other than
Okay.
this
No,
time?
they said they'd both been drinking. They said they had both been drinking.
People that are that ballsy to drink and drive after they've had a few drinks, and they've obviously had a few drinks, have done it before. This is just the first time that they've been caught.
Yeah, but you don't have any-
information
Yeah, that's
I
kind of
got.
an
It's not
assumption,
information
though.
I have.
You
It's
don't-
just when you've lived long enough, you know that this is not the first time they've done this.
That doesn't hold
my,
up in
my
court.
high
And they've
school
been caught.
my high school PE teacher says don't assume because it makes an ass out of you
Exactly. You can't.
And
that
then
would
you
not hold
fucked
up
him.
in court. You can't just say, "Oh, well, their behavior
Well,
suggests."
it's just
No.
good to see that
and me. And Leon's married
the
to a Jew,
process
so he
I
understands
know.
that.
of pulling people over,
Jewish
and arresting
lawyer?
them works.
No,
you know?
God, please, I'm not crazy.
It's
Yeah,
just
he's a lawyer.
No, sure,
Well,
yeah, he's
anyway,
a lawyer.
So Reese Witherspoon, they've been playing the video of her and her husband's arrest all over the internet. So it's kind of embarrassing. They say that he threw her under the bus because she was being sassy. I don't know why she just didn't sit in the car.
Well, she said she was
She
wasted.
panicked. She panicked.
But you know,
Dara, when I got pulled over, I actually got out of the car because I didn't know. I wasn't drinking, but I didn't know what to do, and he pulled his gun on me. And I
then
said,
you were really.
Yeah, no, you cannot get out of the car.
I got back in, but I said I'm going to move it because I don't feel comfortable where the car's parked. So I moved it, and he came running over and he said, "You're going to go to jail right now." And I said, "Well, I just thought that SUV."
Yeah,
was
no,
gonna hit
you
my-"
have to just. I mean, I got pulled over once. For
Obviously,
speeding,
you know
and I was
everything
pissed
about
off,
it.
and I
Christ on
acted
a
kind of
cracker. How many times were you
sassy,
pulled
but
over?
you have
Tell
to
the
just
truth.
do
What
what they
program
say.
are you in?
The difference is, though, is she got video on the news, and I didn't get anything.
Yeah, I think.
I know. You need to get a new publicist.
All right, let's
Obviously, he's on this show.
Let's go to Amanda Bynes to block.
Yeah, Amanda
Oh,
Bynes.
wow.
Who is
That
she?
is just sad.
Oh no, let's wait on Amanda for
Okay.
about 10 minutes.
Jonathan
okay?
Jackson's.
Apparently she had what she calls plastic surgery around her eyes and nose because she said she had like web skin in there. Did you hear this?
Well, clearly she's lost her fucking mind.
I
But
mean, yeah.
Nickelodeon is turning over backwards.
Why can't they write about me? I haven't lost my mind.
have to
I'm
do
just
something.
You have to do a sex
You're gonna
tape
have
or
to get
lose your
arrested,
mind.
Can I
Jason.
just shoot one of you?
Well,
How about Mr. Hart? He's a fellow Jew. I don't want to shoot Ralph.
why?
Because a Jew shooting a black person.
It'd be a
That's
hate
wrong.
crime. It'd be a
Right,
hate
Ralph's not
crime.
black. Ralph's not
Just
black.
make me eat
Not
bacon.
black.
But if I
You
shoot
must
enough,
be mistaking him with Markus.
Ralph is not black. He doesn't know he's black.
and we're friends, I don't know Bruce that well. I could just shoot him a little.
Not yet, Jason.
Bruce is blonde too and very pretty.
Yeah, and they'll feel sorry for him. You know.
Can we talk about another actress who's actually an A-lister, Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
We
God
like
bless her.
Okay.
She's bipolar, right? There was a whole story.
Well,
of
she's
people.
bipolar 2, whatever that means. And
Two as in
apparently
number
Wait,
two?
back
A
in for
sequel?
maintenance for a month.
Yeah.
I would like to pretend I'm bipolar and go in for maintenance for a month. That would be nice. But they're saying that she's been out of control and they've been arguing a lot.
Who? She and Michael Douglas?
Yeah, and she's just, I mean, if
Is he
she's
still
not
alive?
medicated
He's
properly,
playing
then
Liberace,
she
you know
probably
that.
wasn't pleasant to be around.
Well, she doesn't have the best reputation either. But
No,
if you want to
she
say you're
doesn't.
bipolar, that's fine. Whatever gets.
No, she doesn't.
Well, I'm
And then did you
bipolar
see
then.
that,
Are you bipolar?
Keira
You're
Knightley got
bipolar.
married in
Bipolar.
France.
Who?
Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley.
Who?
She hasn't had anything to eat in years.
Who
So
cares?
She does need to eat.
Who'd
yes,
she marry?
you're
Get her a
correct.
sandwich.
Who did
She only had 11 guests there. I thought that was pretty cool.
Wait, we didn't hear what you said. Say it again, sweetheart.
She got married in France, Keira Knightley.
Oh, who'd she marry?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, then nobody cares.
He wasn't that important.
Oh God! Well, maybe if she would have married Reese Witherspoon, we could have talked about her for an hour.
Exactly.
Or
And
one of those
she
fucking housewives.
she only had 11 guests there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like to bring food, and people like to eat.
Now, Dara,
She
you
doesn't
know,
want to see people eat. Exactly.
just to piss Jason off, on Watch What Happens Live tonight, Nene Leakes will be on from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Are you watching?
Yeah, blonde hair.
Zip it.
I don't watch. Tell Jay, is it Jason or Bruce that gets pissed
No,
off
it's
about?
Jason.
Jason.
Don't
Jason,
blame.
you tell
And
Jason that I don't watch Atlanta or Jersey because they got too ghetto for me.
Oh, okay. Well,
thank
then.
God, I'm so happy. I'm
Good,
so
thank
happy
you.
for you, and maybe you could drop by your shrink.
But we do watch Myrtle Manor on TLC,
What's
which
What
is
the
about a
hell?
trip.
Okay, Keira
tra-
Knightley
Watch
married
that.
James
Wake
Wright.
me
He's
up
a
when you're done
rocker.
with reality.
There you go.
James who?
There you have it.
Time.
James who? No,
James Wrighton.
he's a rocker.
He's a rocker. He's been her rocker boyfriend.
Oh.
Oh,
You don't know who he is.
Does he have long hair?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, why
never
should we
mind, I'm
talk
not
about
Well,
it?
Dara,
He's only
listen-
in a band. Maybe if he were on a show,
Oh.
just pretending to be himself.
well, Nene Leakes is on the new normal.
yes, she is.
And she,
Oh,
I went to
her,
high
yeah.
school with Nene. I graduated with her.
Oh,
She-
did
Are we
you?
back on Nene?
We're back on me. I'm the host.
Yeah, I went to school with Reese Witherspoon because
Well,
we're the same age.
Michael
Was
went
Nene
with.
at your reunion, Jasper? I can't remember.
She didn't show up because she forgot. She's suddenly 4 years younger than she really
Oh,
is.
I see.
So, but Nene was
I
doing
see.
pilot seasons years back before she
She
ever,
was an actress in
before
this,
she was on a reality
in the
show. So she
really-
kind of parlayed it.
Yeah, I
back
think
around.
what's happening honestly is a lot of actors are going on these reality shows.
Yeah.
because they're not
Yeah, they
reality
are.
shows. They're
Yeah,
really not. They're
that's what's
they're
happening.
improv shows, and they're.
But you
just-
have Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen and all these guys that are addicted to these shows. And it was Anderson Cooper who saw Nene on the show, flipped out, called Ellen and said, "Who is this girl? You got to have her on your talk show." That's how she got her big break.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
God bless her.
bless her
Well, you
heart.
There
guys
are a
both-
few on the show that are the standout, kind of, more the ones that stand out, and they have, I don't want to say star quality, but they definitely
Yeah,
have
please
a
don't.
better quality about them than most of the girls.
Right.
So
Well, before
Yes,
going
like
on,
Lisa Vanderpump on Beverly Hills.
did anything good happen, Dara?
In
Good happen
entertainment?
where? With whoever? Anything or in entertainment?
In entertainment, anything good? Anything
Well,
positive?
Anything
yeah,
positive?
I mean,
Iron
yes,
Man
you like
3
Maria
came
Shriver.
in number
She's
one.
back at NBC being a special correspondent.
Maria Shriver?
Oh,
Maria Shriver.
good.
well, Dara, before we go on our break,
Yes.
because you do live with an athlete family, a sports family, what did you think about Jason Collins, the NBA
Coming out.
journeyman?
We're gonna. That's
Oh.
gonna be our. We're gonna end it on Jason Collins.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh,
Anybody
we
would-
are? Oh, I thought it was great. I think it's kind of shitty for his girlfriend of 8 or 9 years that he wasted that time of her life. But other than that, I thought it was
Do you
great.
think she really didn't know?
I don't believe she didn't know.
She claims she didn't.
Well-
but
What
she's
did she-
Well,
talking
then
about it
she
on
wasted
TV, so
8
maybe
years of
she
her
did know.
life.
I think she wasted her own time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the fifth.
So do you think that? What does that mean when you're with someone for 9 years? They're gay. Were they having sex? Or?
Well, that probably.
And what's the difference if he just decided to leave her for another woman? He just happened to. I mean, I don't get the.
Well, I
big,
just think, you're obviously, I think you're on some level committing fraud. He's not being honest of who he is. That's a long time to not be honest.
I think there's an element of embarrassment for her. I think that would definitely
Sure.
be true. But it's fortunate that he was actually able to recognize who he really is and come out. And it's such a wonderful. I think we're going to
But
talk
let's
about
all
this.
live in real life, okay? He's coming out on television in front of everybody. No matter what is reported or on the internet, it's probably not 100% true.
Correct.
This is 2013. She's not retarded. She's a woman.
Well, first of all, why- if you're with a guy-
if the woman doesn't know that she's with a gay guy, or he's bisexual. If he's bisexual, I'm going with Jasper to block and saying this relationship ended, it broke up. He's decided to live a gay life. That's it. It's not a lie if he's with her and she's having sex and it's working.
That is a really good point.
But
Yeah,
people
Yeah,
cheat.
that is a good point.
That's a really good point.
How old is Jason Collins? How old is
I
he?
think he's
12,
34.
13?
Well, first
34.
of all, why would she stay with one for 8 years? If you don't get
Well,
a ring after 3,
Well,
bitch,
thank
leave.
you.
I'm sorry. And even
Agreed.
Dr. Laura says that, and I know people hate her guts. So,
I know you love her.
but I do listen to a little Dr. Laura occasionally. But
my
don't
Yes.
crucify
Well,
me, people.
on that note, Planet
People are
Earth,
leaving. They're tuning out.
Planet
Okay, everybody.
Earth, we
Dara,
are
we
going-
love you. Thank you so much. We're going to take our first
Have a great
break.
show. Love
See you
you
later.
guys.
Thank you so
Bye,
much,
guys.
Dara.
See you later.
Hi to the family. Yes, we love you,
All right,
Dara.
we are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the very talented comedian, writer, director, Mr. Max Mitchell. You're listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole. We'll be right back.
Come back, Planet Earth.
You're back on the set with Hollywood's bad guy, Jasper Cole. Here's Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right. Howdy, 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 and welcome back to On the Set with Jasper Cole. Happy Sunday, everybody. Coming to you live from Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. And happy Sunday. It's a worship hour with Reverend Cole, and it's non-denominational. We are joined by the very Jewish special guest co-host, Mr. Jason Stuart. Welcome back, Jason.
So we're basically having a Get Your Stuff reunion.
We
right?
are.
It
We
is.
are. And don't hold back like you did in the last second. Try to come out of your shell.
I
if you,
couldn't help it.
if you
Dara,
could.
Dara upset me.
I want you
know.
to be not
She-
so shy.
It's Dara.
Whatever she calls herself. It's annoying,
Yeah.
The whole
To
thing
the
with
right
she-
of Jason Stewart is our lovely and wonderfully talented Bruce L. Hart. Also,
Hold for applause and scene.
not only is he a recurring fabulous actor on Leon Acord's
Allegedly.
Old Dogs, New Tricks, he also is featured in
A new TV show called Boys Town that's coming out on cable, a Canadian television first, then moving to the U.S. And I play kind of a dark character named Stuart, who is always trying to coerce young boys into being in my adult films. And I'm super excited, and it debuts tomorrow. And then after it's on cable, you can catch it on the web.
All right, I'll have more
Is there a
wine.
website? Is
this
there a
on?
website
Yes.
address that people can follow the show or watch it?
OTV.com.
Okay,
you really
great.
shouldn't let me drink, Cole.
Oh no, that's
It goes with the hat.
And
yeah.
Jason's
It's
not
communion.
on it yet.
It's wine for communion. And who's not on it?
Jason's not on it
Oh,
yet.
why?
I'm
why
not,
is
I'm not
that
in
good?
Old Dogs and New Tricks. I would have wanted to been with somebody. I could be. Can I be someone's
The
boyfriend? Who they
operative word
I want to be
being
someone's
yet.
We're
boyfriend.
casting for season 3.
I
Let's
want
do
to
it.
Well,
be someone who they actually like.
The one that does the casting is our other special guest, the creator
nice.
and one of the stars of Old Dogs and New Tricks, Mr. Leon Acord. Woohoo!
Thank you.
That's where I know you from, the casting couch.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the other Canadian voice that you hear is our very special guest, comedian, now a comedian, writer and director, Mr. Max Mitchell, and author. He has a new book out. Hey, Max.
Hey.
Well, this is very much sort of a reunion show for Jason and Max and I because
We're all in Get Your Stuff.
1999.
You know what's so funny is
Yeah.
everybody here is a hyphenate. Nobody is like one thing anymore.
Well, we
Is
can't.
anybody
be.
in LA? You can't be in
You
LA.
can't be.
Yeah,
I mean, those who are the bitter ones who sit at home and wait for the phone. I mean, it's crazy.
there
And the
is
rest of us do internet
honey,
radio.
no one,
Actually, you don't wait at
no
home.
one, wait, no one. What do you have a long cord? You know, is it hanging in your kitchen? And do you walk around the house? And, you know, my mom.
well, you can get those cords at Home Depot.
Can
Thank
you?
you. Ralph has
My mom
one.
has used to have a long cord in the kitchen. She used to walk around, you know, with her cigarette. And
Right.
By accident, you know, there were 4 kids, but one of them was killed because it was choked to death with a cord.
Strangulated.
You have. I thought you were an only child.
Oh, everybody does.
You have 3 siblings?
I have. Well, I have.
And
two.
they wished he was his only child.
You've never
it's the wine
mentioned. You have
talking.
never mentioned your
Well,
siblings.
my brother is this big fat Republican.
God bless
And
him.
my sister's an Orthodox Jew who looked like she walked off the set of Yentl. What's to talk about?
Is there a third? Wait.
No, the third one got choked to death by the phone cord.
Oh,
My
I'm kidding.
less inheritance
No, we have 2, but my brother and sister are not big fans. You know.
of yours.
No, my brother looks like a large pear.
Oh,
We're assuming he's not listening.
Are you
When
kidding?
did you decide Power Bottom was a hyphenate.
We have dueling stand-up comedians
Honey,
here now.
I want to tell you, if I could,
I'm getting out of the way.
I would love to be a bottom, but the problem is it's exhausting. The top you're in and you're out and you get shit done.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw Jason at the Improv the other night. It was really great. I wish you had been there.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
that. Was so sweet.
He opened that show and he blew the crowd away and he just like got everybody really hot.
Oh, that's nice. to
Yeah.
say.
Jason's very iconic as a stand-up comedian. In all seriousness, he doesn't like to talk about that, but he's
No,
one
I'm
of the
just-
first.
Jason's one of my heroes because he was one of the very first openly gay stand-up comedians.
Well, to be totally clear, there was people that came before me. And
Yeah, I know, but
those
you
are the
were still a pioneer.
right? But those are
Yeah.
the people I stand on the shoulders from. And the thing that sort of made me, I guess, a little different is that I had come from the comedy world, the stand-up comedy club world. So I started headlining mainstream comedy clubs where the other comedians did not do that. They did more gay events, and for some reason, because I think I had that 10 years behind me of doing comedy, that when I did finally come out, I had the chops to work in the mainstream clubs in a different way. And I was frightened all the time. Believe me, I still am. You know, they said, "Could you open the show?" I was like called at the last minute to do that show. I wasn't even on the bill, but they wanted somebody, I guess, to open.
Has it changed in the sense that you could go to like Jasper's hometown now and do an openly gay show without having a cross burned on your lawn?
No, I did it 20 years ago, and I started doing. This is my 20th anniversary. Honestly, I did it 20 years ago. I mean, I started as an actor, did theater, everything, films, and I could not get arrested because in this town, you know, they'd look at somebody like me, and it was almost like if you guys can see, it's like they put your hand in front of your face, and they just sort of basically will not look at you. And Laurence Olivier used to have this really great quote, and I'm probably paraphrasing it, and he'd say, God, I've had this drink and I feel like it's just gone. And he had this quote that he would say, the worst thing to do is to show up, show people who you are, and for them not to see you. And that was what it felt like, because I work so hard as an actor. You know, I really do. I still love the work. Otherwise, I would not be doing it.
On that note, we have Jonathan Jackson online. He's on air. He's live. Jonathan, welcome.
Jonathan, how are you?
Hey, John.
This is publicist extraordinaire Jonathan Jackson, who also has a new book coming out called "Don't You Know Who I Am Yet." Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
Starring Reese Witherspoon.
Yes,
I'm good. You know, how are you guys?
we're great. It is a party up in here.
Jonathan, we are excellent. Thank you for being so patient.
Are you?
Oh, please. No,
Please talk. Go ahead.
and
Just
I can't. I mean, are you guys drunk yet? Is
Well,
anybody
Jason's getting drunk.
we
Jason's
all
getting a
are.
little
I'm not.
belligerent.
Jews don't
I'm drinking
drink.
coffee.
Jews don't drink, so when they give it to us,
drunk? Allegedly.
Jews don't drink. This is
There are no
a.
gay Jews
It was
either.
supposed to be non-denominational, but it's become all about being Jewish.
We're not allowed to say that.
So what's happening with Amanda? What's the dish?
Well, as Jasper knows, since we
It-
work together, but
Is she okay?
I don't know if everybody on the team there saw the whole tweet
What-
X page.
Yeah,
that
why
happened
don't
last
you
week.
bring all the listeners up to date?
fill
What
us
happened
in.
with
Yeah.
Amanda and you this past week?
Yeah, I'll just recap.
Recap.
Yeah, that's perfect. What happened? Recap. Amanda Bynes contacted me, called me on the phone, and she was in distress. And you know, I had been trying to work with her over the past month as I've been with Lindsay Lohan, which no one knew about either. And Amanda seemed suicidal, so I was very concerned, and I needed to do something. And she also said she didn't only seem suicidal; she said that she didn't want to live anymore. And so I figured she was drunk, high, whatever. But then I went to her Twitter right after, and I saw these photos of her nude, and I freaked out. So immediately on Twitter, I posted a tweet to the NYPD, whom I thought was NYPD. I don't know if they were. Or I still haven't even checked to verify if that's their account. I just went NYPD, and then I put at TMZ only because I have a close relationship with them, hoping that they would pick up on it and try to help, like send someone to her location, wherever it is. Because I had no addresses for her because she was evicted.
Can I actually have a question? Why didn't you find it suspicious that if she's calling someone to say she wants to kill herself, she calls a publicist, not her parents, not her friend? I just.
And why would we call TMZ to help her?
Well, Harvey Levin's a lawyer.
Well,
He is a natural born
Too bad
healer.
he's not a dentist.
He is a healer.
Jonathan, love you, but
And I
that
think he's
seems
single,
crazy.
Jason.
That seems crazy.
It does seem.
no, and that's like the big thing that everybody's asking. So you're asking a valid question. And that's kind of what I the
Does she
reason
have
for bringing it up
parents, or
was
does she have parents?
People
or-
had that why didn't you call? Well, her parents are trying to do everything, but Amanda has changed her phone number every other day. At least once a week, she changes her phone number.
Now,
And
how
so
do you
she
do
hides away
that?
from
That's
everyone.
exhausting. Just to stay on the line, you think she to wait for those people to answer the
Push
phone.
1, push 2.
Just hit mute
Push
or
4.
turn off the ringer or something. Wow, it's
And then you have to get the
it
phone
is
number to
exhausting.
everybody.
She loses her family's phone numbers, and then her family, what she does is when they get in touch with her, she hides away from them, and she gets a new phone number. So literally, I was racing. I needed her address, and that was the main purpose of putting that TMZ because my friends there run the account. So I was hoping that they would provide me an address. They would see what was going on. It wouldn't be, they wouldn't post something that was untrue unless they did their research or helped provide me with stuff, which they have in the past. And more so, it was just a sporadic tweet while calling the NYPD because I'm in Florida right now, so I'm not in New York City. I couldn't dial 911 and be dispatched through. So when I got the NYPD at the same time of tweeting, they told me it was a non-emergency, and I had to call a crisis line, which is a whole different phone number. They couldn't transfer me.
Well,
So I did that, and it was just a mess. And then I had to provide addresses, and
Well,
How
wait,
did she
let
get
me
the
ask,
check to
how
you?
did Jenny McCarthy get involved? Was she just up late and drunk?
wanted some
And
attention.
I
Her
think
show's
Jenny
bombing.
McCarthy wanted to be first on the press of it. I guess. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Jenny tweeted it, and I put thanks, Jenny.
God, I
But,
wish this would happen to
lucky
me.
because-
Jason's so
oh
jealous.
no, you don't.
Jason's really jealous.
No.
I could have a series.
You know,
by
I have to say,
Thursday.
after being kind of cynical and asking that question about why she'd call a publicist, people outside of Hollywood, they really don't get how this town can, especially if you're really young and get really successful really fast, it can fuck you up.
Well, the surprising thing about her is she was always together.
Yeah.
She wasn't a Lindsay Lohan.
Let's go back to reality again.
No,
I don't think it's
Do
just
we
this
have
town.
to?
I think if you have a problem, there's much great people in this town. And people keep
No,
saying
but
that-
if you're successful, it kind of throws this light on you that
yeah, but
that,
Isolated. And
Yeah.
But I have
and
to-
not
I
feel
have-
like you could trust anyone, not knowing who you could turn to. I could see maybe why someone would call a publicist if you feel like your parents or your friends or whatever are
call your
kind of
agents,
No,
sponging
but
off
she's
of you.
obviously close to you, Jonathan. But I think the deal is, Leon. This is
Well,
the
I've been trying to help over the past month. So
But the
we're all
de-
both on the same
But the
page of
but the deal
understanding
is
and trying to help her
is
image.
that
So
if the kid is juxtaposed to drugs and alcohol from the beginning, it
Yeah,
doesn't
that is
it
true.
doesn't matter if there's
There's
show
nothing you can
business or
do.
not.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Lance Bass
But,
was hosting.
but the thing is, she never was.
Well,
she never was.
not that
Well,
we
here's the
know
thing,
of.
though. Lance
When I met her
Bass
several times in LA, she never
was
was.
co-hosting The View, and he mentioned he produced a movie a couple of years ago, and he saw some signs back then that there were some problems with her.
Yeah, I just think people hide it.
So I don't know
and
what
they're
he didn't
younger.
elaborate on what that was, but
He's such a sweetheart.
yeah, he
Well,
is.
about 5 years ago, she started coming down. Like her downhill spiral started happening. It was because of the lack of calls. As anybody knows in this industry, a no is a very hard thing to take after you've been at a hiatus for such a long time. And been quiet, but now
It's my
also
whole
has
career.
a
What are you
career.
talking
I mean,
about?
she's
That's
yeah,
why I
but I
say-
think to sort of say that though, you're discrediting every actor who puts up with that bullshit and functions. It's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, that's what he
but there
said,
are
right?
more
I
of
mean,
us who are, as Jason said. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to crosstalk. What?
This is not.
I'm sorry, I'm taking over. You're
It's
the
not a.
co-host.
It's not a 12-step meeting. we're allowed to cross talk.
But really, that's where she needs to be, it sounds like. People are lonely. People are isolated. And I'm not just saying in the entertainment industry. And the reason why the light is shining on her is because she's famous.
I spent the
For
whole day in bed
every
yesterday
person like
watching
her,
Friday Night Lights
there
and
are
crying.
non-famous
I really
people
did.
that go through this.
No one cared about
you
me.
should have tweeted that.
I didn't. I
Jason.
really. That would have been.
All
so
I'm saying
sad.
is that she obviously needs help. And,
Jason
you know,
Stuart.
You just got to
You
tweet
just
it.
forgot to
That's
tweet it.
It's all in the tweeting.
Oh, so basically, Jonathan, am I saying if I
the end of
sent
the
you a
day, I
tweet that
tweeted it.
said that I was in bed crying yesterday watching Friday Night Lights, I binge watched it and ate too many carbs, would you be representing me?
And scene.
No, not you necessarily. But
Click.
when I call on you, no. But if I saw your photos and they were all nude, and you told me you were suicidal, and you told me several times that
photos of Jason.
you don't want to live anymore, I would take it as like drunken stupor. But when I go to your Twitter,
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Hello?
But we ended on nude
There
photos
he is.
of
No, he's
Jason.
there. He's
back.
He's there.
We lost you for a second.
But were the nude pictures of me good?
And can we get them on YouTube real quick?
if they were good, then I would sell them. But nevertheless, to be serious about all this, I mean, it was a very serious situation.
It is sad.
It is sad.
It is sad, and if she is suicidal, isn't if she attempts suicide, isn't that you can have her arrested? That's illegal. It's illegal to do it, isn't it? Am I wrong?
Well,
not in the state of
committed. I don't know about arrested.
She's in New York. I don't know what the New York
New York
laws
has a whole
are.
different plan of laws, and that it was very difficult. So people don't understand the difficulty of trying to even get a call into the right appropriate department, because since 9/11 they implemented certain departments to help with crises or people that were depressed or suicidal, because they didn't want to take away their NYPD presence.
How does she have all this money for plastic surgery? That's what I don't
She's
understand.
got a pretty big network,
She
apparently,
does?
from all the She was pretty big on Nickelodeon.
She has all this.
She has a lot of money. I mean,
Yeah.
you get the royalties, she's continuing all
So
of
she
that.
has the money being
And,
sent
she's a
someplace.
very nice girl, like, from what I remember. And so, like, this whole, over the past month, I've seen this outrage from her, and I get it because I remember being in New York City and being at the height of my career as a publicist and, not on TV, but on the back end, and then going to my little studio, whatever it was, in Chelsea, and being alone. And you have to be alone. You're around all these
That
people
happened to
all
me
day, and you would
yesterday.
think that would be relaxing.
I did a show and I killed and I went home and I felt sad. I'm serious. I am totally being 100%.
This character needs to be on the next
I am
season.
not.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm really. I'm really telling you right
Would you
now.
play yourself on my show?
This is the audition.
Maybe,
Right.
I'm 100% serious. I came off stage last night. I had a great set. I went over to the Bullet because I thought, I should be more open to meeting new guys. Because the
At the
last guy
Bullet?
that I dated, this guy Marco, was so sweet, but he had anxiety problems and couldn't show up to the actual date. So
and it was anxiety problems?
Yeah, and then I went over to the Bullet, and
I'd dig a little deeper there, Jason. I don't
this
know.
is my life. So I felt really great about this set. I killed, and then I went over to the Bullet, and it was really sort of boring. So then I went home and I watched a couple more episodes of Friday Night Lights, and I just felt, I felt, God, I'm so alone. But I honestly felt that way. I'm being totally honest.
John-
But
Jonathan?
every actor goes through that, though. I mean, anyone who's done theater and has, we all go through
No,
that.
God-
You don't use that
Now-
as a reason to just fall apart and
Now,
call a
Jonathan,
publicist
what
and
makes you
commit yourself.
think Amanda's in any better shape than Jason Stewart? Seriously. We can get him some publicity right now.
Jason likes to make fun of himself, right? So he's having a good time. So, but Amanda Bynes
Well-
doesn't realize she's outside of herself. She doesn't know where she is when she's roaming the halls of her hotel, like talking to herself. I mean, Jason may do that. Don't get me wrong, but Amanda truly, over the past
Well,
month,
it's those things that the
Those
dimples,
bolts in her
talk to
cheeks.
someone.
that Frankenstein.
Well, let me ask you this: you don't think there's any chance that she's doing all of this for publicity, and she's got the last laugh?
Wow, I hadn't thought of
I
that.
mean, it's a cry for help, definitely. But
I mean, we're all talking about her, and she was pretty
We're all
irrelevant.
talking about it. She loves it. She retweets it. She just hit 1 million followers. She loves and thrives for that. But you have to, also.
Well, this is
understand
something we
that's
also
her
don't
only way.
understand, right?
She's crying out. She's going into goth. She's
Jonathan.
herself. She's doing all these things.
Jonathan.
And we're cross talking. What do you think?
So, Jonathan, don't
like
you
The
don't
View.
you
I
think
love
that
it.
because we are not of this age and the idea of telling? I mean, honestly, when I can't believe I just said that, but I said before, but I'm it's just having so many emotions about Amanda and what's going on with her, I guess.
And anxiety.
But it is true that the idea for me, the idea of sharing that many
And envy.
feelings, in a way, sort of envy, but disgust at the same time, just to connect with Leon. But it is the truth. But though that.
I wouldn't say I'm disgusted. I just
Don't
find it
you?
all pathetic and sad overall.
All right, a different
yeah.
adjective.
She just needs
There
to
you
get
go.
off social media and get some help. That's the bottom
But
line,
but
guys.
just the
you know?
idea that you
But
would put
she-
so
and-
much,
and
so
Twitter
many.
hasn't even,
And doesn't
verified her yet. She does need to get off.
Doesn't
social
Twitter have a
media, but the
cutoff
thing is,
point?
That's her addiction.
I think something and
I thought they do for nudity, but they didn't.
I'm
Well,
going
just-
to inject
just
here
her-
just as a de facto expert with a web series. Social media, people who aren't in their 20s don't kind of get, but social media is a new form of entertainment, and you can become a star on Twitter just from being on Twitter. And
Right. And YouTube and
I think that's something older generations don't get about this younger generation of Hollywood and their kind of
Yeah, but you don't get
involvement.
paid for being on Twitter.
You don't get paid, but you
Stars,
get.
too. I mean, no offense, guys.
I'm sorry?
But you have to understand this whole Disney Star Nickelodeon thing that you've seen
Exactly.
unravel with Lindsay Lohan and several others. They grew up being famous. That's
Sure.
what their parents or whomever guided them into. They worked very hard, and then they get to a point of rebellion, as most teens do in real life. They become rebellious in whatever way that they do. They skip school, they do whatever they do, they party, they drink, they go through that phase. Amanda never went through that phase until now.
Right. She's
And so
having
this
sort of a
could be
delayed.
who she is temporarily.
But do you think that's only isolated to being a teenager? I mean, I think I've known actors who became successful in their 30s or 40s, and then the success ends, and they kind of go through the exact same thing. I don't think it's just a teenage thing. I think it's about where your head's at when you have
spiral.
success, and whether you maintain human contacts or just become just the job.
You know, I went to school at Tom Sizemore, and I knew
That's why
him
I think it's
fairly
a
well.
mental
and he-
issue. Like, I think
had
it's
issues.
a true mental issue at this point.
I went to
It's not
school
just
with Jodie
drugs, it's a
Foster.
mental issue.
Yeah, well, she doesn't have issues.
Right.
And I love her.
Well, we do
She's
send
much older than me, though, I want to say.
we send our best to Amanda Bynes, and hopefully she gets her shit together.
Absolutely.
and takes those bolts out of her face.
Right. And
Can that heal up? Do we need to call a plastic surgeon? I mean,
My cleaning lady drinks too much and gets depressed.
right? Is she legal or illegal?
I told her no one really cares about you, so shut up and clean the fucking house.
and make some tortillas.
You're not Amanda Bynes! God damn it!
Well, I tried to get Amanda, by the way, to call into the show, so she's probably not going to call with all this hate. But nevertheless, she.
Oh no!
This isn't hate. It's just
Oh.
it's hard. It's hard. It's very difficult. This is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artists in this room. We're all artists who, and all the jokes aside, and everybody's listening. I hope you're listening to the whole thing. We're all artists. We've had a couple, bottles of wine because Ralph is
not a couple of bottles.
It's communion. It's communion.
And Ralph is a pusher. He's very aggressive in this nature. But the truth is, we're all artists here who've worked really, really hard. And when you see someone who has been so lucky as this young girl, the idea that she's throwing this away.
And that's not to say she hasn't also worked hard, but she has been lucky.
But to throw it away, to throw it away like that, she needs to put things into perspective, realize how lucky she is, and, get some help. I mean, that's the thing. We all have our bad days.
Right, but at the same time, I totally agree, but whatever mental thing she's going through is a serious issue. Suicide is a serious issue.
It is, yeah.
And those things have to be accounted for. We cannot feel empathy upon her. But
How serious do you think the suicide is,
all this media that's mocking
Jonathan? How serious do you think it is? If
yes.
it's that serious, maybe someone should fly
I think
out
it's very serious. It's serious enough for me to do that. I would have never done that in my life.
I know. I was going to say it was courageous of you to send out that tweet, Jonathan. So thank you for that.
I'm from the Midwest, and and I'm not saying this is correct, but there's sort of this mentality back there that the people who talk about suicide are not the ones who do it.
Right.
So
and
I
that's
think
what she's been doing forever. So I figured, it's not really true. And then I go to her Twitter and I see all this stuff.
I understand it's in Twitter, but is there somebody in real life that's actually virtually they can't stop her from doing this?
She seems to be cut off from everybody.
Is there
right?
somebody
There's
in Will?
nobody?
You said she's at a hotel.
She cut off everybody.
Does somebody know what hotel she's at?
Well, they do now.
Okay, so there's an actual real person in real life that
so-
can walk over to the hotel and give her a hug and say, "Hey, honey, let's dry out for a day and let's take the plugs out of your face." And
we've been hoping, but she continues to tweet. Like today, she did it for attention again. I have plastic surgery. I cannot believe it. In Touch
Jason,
magazine,
she's going to jump out of a
put
window
up,
if she listens to
an old
you.
photo of me.
Well, listen, Jonathan, thank you. We're going to have to keep going here. Everyone, Jonathan has a new book that's coming out soon called Don't You Know Who I Am Yet? And a potential reality
And
show.
that's a very interesting book, as you know, and a potential reality show which you're producing, and it's fantastic, along with another co-partner. And the book is very telling to Leanne Rimes and her laxative abuse and many other things. So it sheds light. I hold no barriers in regards to whom I talk about. And who
Whatever
I
happened to class? I'm sorry. Why do we,
right here
quit?
on the set with Jasper Cole, you've come to the right place.
Leon Rives has a laxative abuse.
Yeah, but you have to read the book.
Does it really work though?
You have to
'Cause
watch
the toilet. You
the
can read the
reality
book on the
show.
toilet.
You got to watch the show.
if it works, I would do it too.
Well, Jonathan, thank you so much.
It
And
really does. She was skinny. Thank you, guys.
all right, take care.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
buddy.
Jonathan Jackson.
Don't drink too much.
Don't drink too much. That's right.
Very interesting.
Well, she's no Judy Garland. That's all I can say.
Wow. But who
And all
is?
the kids are going, "Who's that?"
I know. Okay, let's talk about real talent, Max Mitchell. Here
Yes.
we go.
I always wanted to be with the bad boy of Hollywood.
Let me
do you abuse
segue
laxatives?
it
Do
over
you-
to Max Mitchell.
You don't
'cause
abuse laxatives, do you?
No, he's naturally thin. He's naturally thin.
I abuse my partner. It's more rewarding.
Well, we were starting to say before the call that Jason and Max and I all knew each other from Max's wonderful movie Get Your Stuff that he wrote and directed in 1999.
Yeah, it was
all about gay adoption.
the first gay adoption movie.
Yeah, with
Way before
starring
its time.
Elaine Hendricks from The Parent Trap.
Yes.
Back to Lindsay Lohan and some more plastic surgery. I'm just worried if Amanda drinks a drink and she's got those 2 holes in her face. How does the water? I'm sorry.
Listen, we had an 8-year-old with obsessive compulsive disorder on that movie, but no one's talking about that.
Yeah, Max's first movie, he works with children, right? You had 2 kids on that movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Lisa Ann Walter was in it too.
Yes.
She's so funny. We all know each
Oh,
other.
I love her.
I did a
And
movie with
Jason
her.
Bogue.
I met
She's
her
the
when I
best.
did a movie called Coffee Date with her.
Yes.
And I did her radio show. I love her. And Jim
She's
J.
been a
Bullock,
guest
who's
on-
an old friend.
Yes, Jim J.
Jim J.
Cameron
You know what-
Watson. It's interesting because Jason and I, we haven't plugged your radio show yet, but when I was a guest on your show,
Name Dropping with Jason.
RadioTitans.com,
Yeah.
we talked about how Cameron has gone on to direct, and Anthony Mendel is one of the biggest acting coaches now in the.
He's got a whole building with his name on it.
And he
He took
has
over Howard Fines.
workshops in Australia and
And
everywhere
his
now.
Twitter feed is full of pretentious epigrams, one after another.
Oh, really? He's not crying out for help, though. He's not threatening.
Nobody cares. He's not. He wasn't on a
he's-
Disney show.
he's not
And it
threatening
doesn't matter
suicide.
because Jonathan is going to tweet them, and virtually someone's going to go over and save her. Nothing is real.
What happened to 911? I guess that's.
I think Amanda
obsolete.
needs to call Tony
for some life coaching,
and acting coaching as well.
some help. 'Cause he goes beyond. I think.
I think she should do a whole series with her and Lindsay Lohan with Dr. Drew, who I did a show with called, I forgot the name of it. It was with that puppet that I talked to. I played a Jewish accountant.
A puppet.
Dr. Drew
Al-
and a
Al-
puppet.
I did a
Alf?
show called
Alf?
It's called Warren the Ape. I did a show.
I remember
Remember
that.
It was a spinoff
Yes.
of Bunny the Duck. I don't know, but
Don't you think that Lindsay?
I'm a little drunk.
Did
I
you drop
really am.
acid
you.
in this wine? 'Cause I don't
We
know
roofied him.
The whole Lindsay Lohan thing has gotten so old.
This is a
though.
date
I'm
It's
so
like-
sick of
Yeah.
hearing that
I
name.
agree.
I
It's like-
could be happy
like
to
you
never
say,
hear that name
How
ever
many
again.
comebacks can you have?
And a woman has been given every opportunity and has talent and has just thrown it all away. Okay, when you were saying this earlier, I was like, the point is like everybody in every profession, not just entertainers,
Yes.
has loneliness and depression and
Stress
and,
and-
and alcoholism and all.
Since the Reagan era, that's when it started.
Judy Garland. I mean, everybody has problems. So just because you're famous, yes, you get
The
you
days
get-
go stronger, and suddenly,
no.
I'm really drunk right now.
Good.
But you know what was really interesting to me about? I was thinking back about Get Your Stuff is that when I first,
No one was drunk.
yeah,
Well-
no, except me. No, when I first wrote Get Your Stuff, it was a play in
Right.
New York, and then it became a screenplay, and then it became a movie. But in the early stages, before it sort of marks gay rights in a big way. And originally, it was so scary to people. There were people who wouldn't let their kids audition for it. But there was a manager in L.A. here. There was a manager who said to a friend of mine, I can't believe they're doing that. He's like, it's about pedophilia, and it's about, it's like, well, you know the story, right? It's about two kids, who hard to place kids who are 8 and 10 who get placed with a gay couple who take over their care, and it's a wonderful, heartwarming story. But this guy read it, and he was like horrified that I would even put a script like that into circulation.
How dare you put children and gay people in the same film, much less
Yeah,
have them
and
be
he
adopted.
practically called me a pedophile
God.
Yeah,
to someone
I
in the
remember.
industry.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
Who was it? Let's name him.
He's probably no longer a manager.
He's out of business.
Yeah, well, it's interesting when you look back at, the people who did all the great stuff, they all took risks and they all did stuff that was really, really gutsy.
Yeah.
When I first wrote the first play of this, I was a pariah. But, you go fast forward 15 years later and everybody's bringing their kids in saying,
yeah.
oh, this is the coolest script and all the kids want to be in your movie. I said, why? Well, because they get to say fuck all the time.
I actually when I was in New York a couple of years ago. I actually had lunch with the guy who wrote Boys in the Band. Does anybody remember his name?
Mark
Mark Crawley.
Crawley.
Yeah, and he
Matt Crawley.
he told me the story. of how what was going on in the late '60s when he had all these guys starring in this play, Boys in the Band off Broadway. He said people just could not believe that you were actually doing a story about gay people and who they were, and at the time they said they were all stereotypes, but at the time they were, parts of us.
Right.
And honestly, even though they are sort of stereotypical, they are parts of us.
Well, stereotypes have basis in reality. There's a reason things become stereotypes.
But it's all about, as an actor, how you play the role.
Exactly.
And I think if you do the role now, we wouldn't do it as it's also a style of acting that doesn't exist anymore. Now it would be done more real. It was a little more
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you did it as a period piece, wouldn't you have to kind of keep some of that?
Yes, but I think, I think it would be a little more naturalistic, a little less theatrical.
Oh, well,
as it was in the film that Billy Friedkin directed.
Oh, the film.
And I think that he was telling me about how difficult, how most of the guys in the original play passed away from AIDS, and most of them did not have careers afterwards. No. Though the one guy that played the most effeminate heterosexual, which was Cliff Gorman, who went on to be a big star in doing Lenny, the Broadway show Lenny, and he did all that jazz, and he also did
the TV series with Chad Vegas. Or he was
Cliff Gorman. I didn't know that.
Wow.
But he did a lot of work, and he also was in An Unmarried Woman with
Jill
Clayburgh, God bless her.
And Lawrence Luckenbill married Lucy Arnaz.
Yes, and so the straight guys seemed to have more of a career and went on, but the gay guys did not. So it really tells you that those are guys, and I constantly like to talk about them, because if it wasn't for them, we would not be in this room.
I wanted to ask, when we were talking about Jason Collins, I wanted to ask you this, and actually I'd like to ask all of you this, because I kind of had a Facebook shitstorm about Jason Collins. I think it's great.
We love shitstorm.
Wonderful that he came out, and I posted something about, it's great, I admire him, but my real heroes are the ones who never go in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I caught so much crap about that. What do you think?
Well, I think it's the way you're saying it. It's the way you're saying it. Instead of saying, saying it in the same voice, you say, God, thank you, Jason, but also let's not forget. You know what I mean?
That's kind of how I said it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because the way you heard it, I heard it like
I was trying to make it snappy for radio.
Yeah, but I was, but you don't want, because this is a guy. He's only in his early 30s. He's from a completely different generation than us. So his experience is different. Most of the gay kids that I mentor and work with, they don't even know things.
I'm not saying
they forget
that there should be any blame on him. I mean, he has his own journey. I'm not making any judgment on him. I'm just saying I have much more respect for the people who are pioneers, who are out of the closet from the very beginning, who never have to come out because they've always been out.
If Jason Collins had been out of the closet when he first started, he never would have.
Well,
we never would have heard of him.
Never would have
he
heard
would
of
have
him.
never had this career.
But those people are the ones who make the sacrifices.
Right.
It's the Quentin Crisps of the world who get
It'll
the movement.
be interesting to see what happens to his career now that he's.
And I'm going to the Boys in the Band because I want to name some of these guys. But isn't that sort of what you're doing with your show? I mean, to bring that around, isn't that sort of what you're doing? You have all these wonderful openly gay actors. I don't think you have any straight.
They're not. No, Kurt Bonham's straight, and
Kurt Bottom is straight.
Oh my God, Jason!
Kurt Bottom, who plays Brad, and Ryland Shelton. I don't know what he is, but we have some.
But most of it. I mean, because on network television, there is not a gay couple on TV that is played by two gay men.
Or there's not a gay couple that you even think have sex together. I'm so sick of these gay couples on TV who have no spark.
And they're not believable.
So I just want to say a couple of their names.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson's gay, isn't he? He's had one half of the gay couple.
I'm sorry. As I said before, we're both of them. Usually it's just one. And there's a guy named Keith Nelson that played Michael, and there's Frederick Combs who played Donald. And then there's Keith Prentice who played Larry.
Who played Emery?
Emery was played by Cliff Gorman.
That was Cliff Gorman.
Straight.
That's my part.
I did the play in 2000. I played Harold, which was such a great part. And Mart, the playwright, came and
Leonard Fry, who was in Fiddler on the Roof, he passed away. I think he had cancer. And
he played Harold.
He played Harold.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to name a couple. Robert Latourreau, he played the cowboy. Robert Greene played Bernard. Peter White played Alan McCarthy. Keith Prentice. I mean, these are people. Please look them up. Go look up IMDb. Look up these people. See their careers. See the people that are gay that are listening to this, who walked before us, so the six of us could be in this room talking now. It means so much to me. It really does. Because this is my 20th anniversary of being openly gay when I came out on the Geraldo show 20 years ago, and we said, how are we going to frame this? How am I going to do this? I said, well, what's the big deal? No one really cares. So we sent out a press release saying, if you break the ground, do you get to walk on it? Well, in the old days, we didn't get to walk on it. We'd suddenly go off someplace, and I don't want to be that person. I'm not ready to lie down. I still want to work and have fun.
Well, you want to lie down, but you want to be
yes.
But then that's when the work
with
begins.
some of this wine, Jesus.
But Jason, can I ask you a question about stand-up comedy? The really famous household name stand-up comedians, who are all women, by the way, but they all made their career and their fortune in the closet and then came out.
Are we talking about lesbian comedians?
Yeah, but there are no really male stand-up gay comedians of the stature of an Ellen DeGeneres or Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, why? Let's talk about it in this room.
I have a question for
I'll
you
tell
because you know a lot about this.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I can tell you why.
But here's my question. If Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell had come out of the closet before they achieved any success, would they have had their careers?
No.
I don't know, and I don't know. I can't say that for sure, but I'm thinking not. But that was also, for Ellen, it was 1997. For Rosie, it was 2000, I think. Right?
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure.
Things have changed quite a bit. And the other, I want to just acknowledge what you just said. For gay men, the biggest comedians are straight men. The women still can't compete in that world. And I know, and women have to be pretty. It's not like the Joan Rivers days, where you can look or the Phyllis Diller's days, or Moms Mabley.
It's
those
Sarah
comedians,
Silverman.
It's Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
If you're not
Kathy
pretty,
Griffin.
you're going to have a harder time. In terms of gay men are just in the last number of years are starting to support each other in that way. There's myself, Mario Cantone. Kevin Meaney.
He came out later.
Came out. He's not really doing stand-up as much as he's doing touring.
But the women have so many. Ellen and Rosie, and then Wanda Sykes and Lily Tomlin.
Why? Why do the men not have?
I think
that?
there's always been. I think there's always been.
Gay men aren't funny. That's why.
There's always been a double standard for lesbians. I think in general, because straight men like the idea of two women together.
Somebody always says to me in a gay show, like I do a lot of double shows with lesbians. In a gay show, the woman always closes. In a straight show, the guy always closes. I just headlined in Vegas for 14 shows. I closed the show. The lesbian I was working with, Dana Eagle, couldn't close the show because mostly when straight people come, the straight guys are more comfortable seeing a man close a show. It seems to work better. When you do a gay show, it's always, I would work with Jessica Kirson recently.
She's hilarious.
The Parker House Theater in Florida. They said, well, you have more credits. I said, no, let her close. She's the one. It's not going to be me. Because gay men like women better and women like women better.
It's interesting about your question, though. I don't know. I don't know if you can answer that because every career is unique. For every showbiz rule, there's always at least one person who's been the exception. I had a friend, actually, Jeffrey Hartgraves, who passed away, who's one of the most talented people I've ever met, who actually got booked as a openly gay comedian on The Tonight Show in 88 or 89 or 90.
Tell me his name.
And got Jeffrey Hartgraves.
Talking about being gay?
Yeah. Oh, he did. There was no hiding it.
Robin Tyler.
But he didn't actually do it because he got meningitis and ended up having to miss it. Oh. But I often wonder, if he had done that show.
The New York Times did an article just last year about this, Jason. You may have seen it, where it said, why are there no really big-name gay male stand-ups? There are a lot of really big-name female stand-ups.
I got more email about that than I can tell you. Because I wasn't mentioned, and certainly there were a lot of other people that weren't mentioned. The guy that was doing the article did very little research on it, it seemed, because he didn't seem to talk about people that actually do stand-up comedy. Like I have a whole acting career, but I have a whole stand-up career. They are separate things. And people, just because you do sketch comedy, that doesn't mean you're a stand-up comic
or an actor.
Right? They're different arts. Sometimes they.
Was that in your inner voice?
Sometimes they bleed.
Inner
into
monologue slipped out.
It's like you were a director and a writer, and now you are working to be a comic. So you are actually now pursuing a new art form. So you're working and doing that. It's a job. It's an art form. It isn't something that just happens because you're in another profession. And I'm very much about the work and about paying your dues and doing your work and going to class and doing independent films and going to clubs if you have to do and touring. I toured for 20 years in clubs all the time. Whoa. It's about the work. You have to be able to do that.
What was your journey to getting to the Tropicana? Was that what you talked about earlier?
I've worked in Vegas I've headlined there probably around 10 times over the years. The Improvs, the Rivieras, the Laugh Factories, which is the Trop now. It depends on who's everything. So I did Dangerfields years ago. It depends. It's always it's people call you.
Now, did you find you had a mixed audience?
I always had a mixed.
Always.
I didn't have much of a gay audience at all.
And do you change your material for that, or do you?
It's never the joke. It's a setup.
Right.
Because everything I say is funny to me. Because that's who I am. That's the truth. And if you're but my job as a comedian is to set up the joke so everyone understands. Like when you said that, the reason you laugh so loud is because you have a context of me.
Yeah.
Who you think who you think I am.
Yeah.
So that's why you laugh. But if you don't know who I am and don't have a context, then you have to set up that joke.
Yeah.
And you have to know how to set it up. And that's where, even in comedy series, as you know, because you write one and work on one, the setup for what you're doing is really, really important.
That's really well said.
Like I can hear it almost like music in my head.
Exactly.
I can hear it.
But don't you think? I don't think that can be taught. I think you can hone it
I
and you can
mentor
get better.
a couple kids,
but I think you either have an innate comedic ability.
Yes, but a comedy character.
Like
I don't know.
Ralph,
I don't know if it's
Bruce,
innate. I think you absorb it. I mean, I think mine came from just being a kid watching
would
TV
be
and
terrified.
just
like Bruce and Ralph, for example. These are two scene-stealing actors,
you got that
and nobody
right.
can
Okay,
teach
let
them.
me touch it. Then
But I couldn't do stand-up comedy. My
No,
God,
I'm
I
saying
couldn't
scared to
either.
death.
true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
But like Max is someone who's just started this, and he's already succeeding very quickly in it.
But people don't know about me, though, was I started out in the very beginning as an actor and a singer.
Right.
And I did that for several years, and then I moved into writing and directing
you have
and
presence.
producing.
Yeah.
And now I'm going back to the stage, but I have several years of being on stage under my belt.
But
When
you
I
also
came-
have an innate ability to do this.
Well, when
you
I
know.
started stand-up, I was like my whole life, it was kind of a bucket list thing. I always wanted to do stand-up, but I was always afraid because it's the scariest thing in show business, I think.
Right.
And I had been a singer and an actor for years, and I had even done improv, and I'd been on stage a lot. So coming to stand-up, even though I was afraid of it, I'd had a lot of stage time under my belt. I'd been up there in front of crowds, singing, dancing, improvising.
So you were ahead of the game.
I had a head start.
Yeah.
And I just, also, I was a writer for years, and I wrote script after a couple of novels. I've written 35 screenplays. So I was able to sit down and write, 5-minute monologue, piece of cake, right? I just wrote a novel. And, I would just be able to write, and then, so to me, it was like doing stand-up was I wrote a little 5-minute one-act a solo play, and then I went and performed it.
Right.
So there's three kinds of comics, I think. There are comics that say funny things, Max. There are comics that are funny looking, i.e. Louis Anderson or Phyllis Diller. And there are people that say things funny, i.e. Bruce Hart and Ralph Cole. You see those things. I can do two of them. And I used to be all three because I used to wear weird outfits in my show when I first started. So
you still look funny, Jason.
Yeah. Well,
Well, there are comedians also
in
like
the comedy world, I'm sort of boring.
like a
looking
Kathy
at
Griffin who really doesn't tell jokes. She just talks about pop
Kathy
culture.
created
and
her own thing, and she's sort of
she's kind of one
Janine Garofalo-ish.
I used
too.
to see Kathy in the clubs bomb.
Yeah.
When she first started doing this, recreating her career after Susan at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, which is my home club, I would see her all the time. And at first, people did not get what she was doing because she doesn't do jokes, and she does commentary.
Right.
And she's incredibly prolific. So so when you're going to see a joke at the beginning, you're not going to see a well-crafted joke. You're going to see a more of a commentary or up to the minute kind of a thing, and that's sort of
she's
what's
pop
exciting.
culture too.
Pop
Everything
culture
is,
icon, yeah.
Sarah Silverman is like that in a way, but she takes it a little more to the.
Sarah Silverman is not the same, honestly.
But she has such a skewed.
Sarah has her own personal point of view, and these are comedians. Sarah, Kathy, Margaret Cho are comedians that don't go to the people. The people come to them.
Right.
And when you're a straight woman in a gay club or in a gay environment, we do that.
Right.
And I talk to the gay people that are listening here today, and I say to yourself, I love Streisand. Believe me, I love them all. It changed my life, but it will not change your life to stand behind the skirts of women and let them speak for us.
Right.
We will not move to the next level as gay men if we keep idolizing women.
Well, here's I have this thing about it. I think
not that we should stop loving them.
In every minority.
Actually, if I can just respond to that quickly, because one of the things I've run into with doing Old Dogs and New Tricks is this kind of thing that there are a lot of middle-aged gay men who would rather watch middle-aged women play middle-aged gay men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's
But let's be honest. Look how high your stuff is, and your. I was looking because when I looked at your stuff on YouTube, I did a little research before this show, and I looked at all the amounts of people that are watching your shows. That's not true. And I think
but my point is,
and
it's
the
like,
more named people that you have on the show, the more people that want to watch. The
no,
higher
but
your
the thing is, there are many gay blogs that won't post us because we're middle-aged gay men, and they don't want to be they've got the models with the Speedos, and they've got the Gaga and the Madonna news, and they don't want to taint themselves with that. And how do we get past asking women to play us? When is it going to be okay for gay men to watch gay men playing gay men?
Well, here's my thing.
I mean, you're doing it. You're actually
well,
you
but
don't,
we're
you don't
not.
Feel, no. Let's just say this for a second. You don't feel it because you're doing it and you're in the process. But I'm saying to you, as another gay brother, it is happening, and you are doing it now.
Well, thank you.
Here's
the truth.
My thing is, with most of the shows, TV shows, in any minority, they're different groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're well represented yet. I think
hell no.
One thing I don't like about the new normal, we talked about it. I don't believe that couple.
God, no.
It's nothing wrong with having a flamboyant character, but we're not all flamboyant.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of us that
it's
aren't
not the flamboyance. It's the style of the show. It's sort of a heightened reality, and even Glee. That's very much Ryan Murphy's.
That's his life.
Yeah, but when you go over to the other show, the new normal, not the Modern Family, you see, there are a lot of men, and we all know them, that are attracted to fat, big guys.
Right.
And it's never acknowledged on the show.
Where are the skinny chasers? That's what I want to know. Where are the men who like skinny guys?
Well, that's the guy on the show.
Oh, thank God! Finally,
that's the guy on the show. The other character, but they don't
only on TV, never in real life.
They don't acknowledge it in the writing because it's sexuality,
right?
And it's like when you see an older guy who likes a younger woman, or you see an older woman who likes a younger guy, or whatever it is, they acknowledge that now in television. There's Cougar Town, it's a whole show about it, but they don't acknowledge it yet. They don't want to acknowledge our sexuality.
Well, they can't show the sexuality.
Right,
I mean, we still have not seen any gay characters that I think really have put out heat. They have chemistry. The guys on Modern Family have to.
I don't think they're
normal. I don't imagine them having sex.
Even in that stupid Broadway show Avenue Q, the gay puppets don't have sex on stage and the straight puppets do.
Well,
I'm like, what the hell? I mean, and then this is Broadway. You'd think they would be able to.
And
do
lesbians.
like
Let's talk about our sisters.
They don't.
Let's talk about our sisters for a second. Lesbians don't even exist on TV other than Grey's Anatomy. I don't know any, and those are played by two straight girls. I don't know any.
Shameless has a lesbian couple, Chloe Webb.
Yeah, but that was
Carlise.
That was an arc, and it was only 3 episodes.
Yeah, but
Carlise was only on a couple times. They didn't even, and the mother's gone now too.
And usually when you do see a lesbian on TV, it's always kind of. It's a plot device to titillate. It's never like an
Grey's Anatomy. They have a.
They're regulars.
Yeah, they're
regulars. Chloe and Carlise were
and even Chloe's character was coming back to be straight. She was
right. Well, if she weren't such a bitch in real life, she might come back more.
Oh, is that
she's welcome on your show
anytime, Chloe. If you can get your shit together, you're welcome to come.
It was an arc on the show, which we were all glad to see, especially for Carlise. But
I've never seen it.
No, it was great. It was great.
Anatomy?
Well, before we take a break,
that was Shameless, but Carlise was on Shameless, and Grey's Anatomy has the two.
One last thing about Jason Collins, I think, is not being talked about enough.
Is he single now?
No, the fact that he's also he's black also, and that's a whole cultural.
That is huge.
That's a whole issue.
Wait a minute.
I mean, I wish we had a black person on the show that could comment. Unfortunately, the one we have doesn't know he's black. So, but maybe when we come back, Ralph can tell us about that. You're listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole, and we will be right back.
Come back, Planet Earth.
Bye, bitches.
You're back on the set with Hollywood's bad guy, Jasper Cole. Here's Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right. Here we are coming down on the final stretch of On the Set with Jasper Cole. This is our Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo with our rainbow-colored piñata. Who's going to bust the piñata? And Jason, I didn't mean that sexually.
It's okay. I'm a daddy. I got to do shit.
Daddy.
Welcome back, Planet Earth. This is Ralph Cole Jr., the Way Too Gay sidekick. We are very happy to be here, and we wanted to remind the planet we will be back next month, June 2nd.
June 2nd.
June is busting out.
They only allow us once a month.
Jasper,
go ahead, bitch. I'm sorry. She'll get very nasty if I don't let
June
her
is
talk.
busting out all over,
boys.
and so are we.
You're
okay.
both pretty. You're
Oh,
both pretty.
thank you.
So
well,
come back in June.
are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Now.
Anything else?
No. Well, during the break, we wanted to mention our dear mothers and how we're
Yeah,
celebrating
because
them
we won't
next
be here
week.
next weekend's Mother's
Is
Day.
that next weekend?
Yeah.
Better
Oh,
get,
shit.
get those
Yes.
flowers ready.
I'm going to Palm Springs. I'm going there to see her.
You are a Jew.
I called her on the phone. I said, "Mom, I met this really great guy, Marco. That was before
he had anxiety issues.
and disappeared." She goes, "Is he gay?" I said, "No, he's a fucking leprechaun. Of course he's gay."
Is he gay?
She says, "I forgot." I said, "Mom, I came out 25 years ago." She goes, "I know, but it's not so important."
There's time.
Wasn't that great? So you guys understood that joke.
Leprechauns aren't Jewish; they're Irish Catholic.
That's
Oh,
right.
thank
It's an
you.
alcoholic.
I've been out to my parents since I was 16, and I've been with my partner about 20 years, and I
Wow.
took him home to meet them for the first time. I'm like, by the way, Mom, Lawrence is Jewish, and she actually went, and I looked at her and then she kind of went, "Oh, but that's okay, isn't it?"
Right.
And that was it. But I just thought it was really funny for 5
my mother
seconds.
goes,
It's like there are no children.
Can't they be? Why does he have to be black? Why does he have to be Hispanic? Isn't gay enough? I'm so tired.
a triple minority.
But that was now she goes, just get somebody, please get somebody.
That's where my mother is. She just wants me to settle down. She's always like, "Have you met any nice boys?"
I am single.
Bruce has
Again.
the coolest mother.
Oh.
Tell them about your
Well,
mom.
my mom's an author. Her book that just came out was called "Why Mother Teresa is Going to Hell."
Oh, I love that.
The thing is,
And you don't want to judge anybody.
No, I don't want to judge anyone. I'm telling you. No,
No wonder with a mother like that. Dear God, that book.
my parents
funny,
are
Bruce, you play all these bitchy characters.
Really, really sweet, but they're
so
very
not
old. My
bitchy.
father's 93 and my mother's 88, and God bless them, they're doing really well.
Wow, you look great for 64.
Oh, stop it! I'm 54 for all of you. That
Oh
are
my
listening.
God, you just said.
He looks like a child.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
With a decent lift.
I just threw up in my mouth.
Thank God for
I can't believe you said that.
for Juvederm.
My point is this, though. My folks actually thought I married Greg Louganis. They saw that show, and they don't quite get web shows. So, and then my
Good. Just tell them. It'll make them happy.
Yeah.
They're almost dead. It doesn't matter. Make them happy.
Stop. They're going to live forever, and I'll never get any inheritance. But anyway, my mom's sister, my aunt, she actually sent me a little note. She said, "What would you like for a wedding gift?"
Oh,
that
money,
so
cash,
sweet.
A groom.
A groom. See, Max, we're really bad. We think alike, which is scary, actually.
A living trust.
Someone who drives at night would be good, too.
I just want a guy who has a car
I'd
and
settle
doesn't.
for a living thrust.
You have a boyfriend.
I know.
Wait, do you still...
You're married, right?
You don't call it a boyfriend anymore,
Do you
right?
guys you guys still have sex? Now, come on.
Yeah. I have. My husband.
Scheduled sex.
My husband's a flight attendant.
It is scheduled.
Yeah.
then.
He won't have sex until I'm in the fully upright position.
I dated a flight attendant. Every time I left his house, he would say bye-bye. But he charged me for the Diet Cokes. Every time I took one out of the
Okay.
freezer.
Tip your waitress. She's here all week. From Vegas to...
I feel like we're watching comedic tennis here.
If it wasn't for the music, I could get a couple more jokes.
We just celebrated our 9th anniversary. He calls it Veterans Day.
Congratulations.
I'm stealing some of these jokes now.
Yeah, they're going to be in season 3, by the way.
It's the second marriage for both of us. So when we fight, we scream, "I gave you the second best years of my life."
So, what is the secret to a long relationship? I mean, how many people here are married or
Separate
partnered or
houses.
whatever?
He's blind and I'm
houses.
deaf.
Separate bathrooms. Separate
Separate
bedrooms.
residences.
Do you have separate bedrooms?
We have separate bedrooms to go to if we want to.
No, I've
So you
seen
have your own
house.
rooms in the
You
house.
got a big double bed, liar.
Well, no, we have a main bedroom, but we have that second
Separate
bedroom.
bathrooms.
So you-
separate
definitely
closets and
bathrooms.
separate bathrooms.
I think I know. I said when one of the kids that I mentor got together, moved in with her boyfriend. I said to her, in moving the house, I said, "Oh my God, honey, you can't be in the same bathroom as her."
Yeah.
And I said, he said, "What do
Yeah.
you mean?" I said, he's a little straight boy. I said, "Just the guest bathroom, that's yours."
Yeah.
She has hair. She has to deal with the hair shit, with the blow dryer. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And then he called me a couple weeks later. He said, "Thank you so much."
First time he has to take a dump, and she's in there doing it.
But still, it's just everything. It's just a bathroom. You need your own bathroom. Christ.
Dear Lord, I live by myself and I have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. You know.
Oh, I'm moving in with
You
you.
are such a Jewish prince. I
I'm
swear to
telling
God. But I'm not judging you right now. I swear to God.
Thank you for not judging.
Just leave me in the will, darling. Okay.
Bruce, are you single?
Yeah, I'm single.
Of course he is.
Okay, well,
Notoriously.
first, we forgot to get everyone's websites, Twitters, Facebook. Jason, where can people
Go
find
to
you?
jasonstuart.com, STUART. All the social media is on the top of the page. It's
And
really
let's
easy.
plug your radio show,
I have
name
a
dropping.
name dropping with Jason Stuart, Radio Titans. It's also on my website. Just pluck on the little button that says Radio Show.
And it's a
really
great
easy.
show. I've been a
And I got a
guest on
couple
it.
movies come out. They're all independent, so please, everybody, go to the update page, support all these wonderful independent filmmakers, and come to see some shows. Go to the appearance
All your
page.
tour day, all your shows are on your website.
Yeah, I'm
right?
going to be going to Kentucky in May. Oh, this is May. I'm going to Kentucky to do a thing for Suicide, and I'm going to Tennessee to do a club date, and I'll even be in Maine later in the year. But please, so come and
You're going to be at the Ice House, right?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm doing
Thank
the
you,
Ice
Matt.
House I'm headlining it on the 17th of May.
Boy, he really doesn't want to talk about his stand-up, does he?
Yeah,
No.
I keep forgetting. Yeah, well, it's hard to remember. Everything.
Yeah, go see him. He's really funny.
I got to lie down sometimes. It's just
When do you rest?
Yesterday I was crying all day watching.
Are you able to just relax?
I do, honestly.
Yeah.
I do. I'm very private.
Yeah.
Which people wouldn't think. I'm
Oh,
incredibly private, and I'm not
off
a big,
stage.
and I'm not a big socializer.
Right.
I really am not. I have very.
You have anxiety issues?
No, I just don't like people.
No, that's his boyfriends who have
No, I don't.
anxiety
I'm always. I've been like that for a long
Don't you think
time.
a lot of performers are like that though? I find.
I don't
think
know
so.
because I'm alone all the time.
So, Jason, how do you meet guys? Are you
I
online?
don't, and
or
that's
what do
my
you do?
problem. That is my problem.
Wait, people don't. You don't meet guys at your comedy clubs? At your comedy gigs?
You do, but the thing is I think that
I thought you were going to blow that guy at the Improv the other night from the stage.
It
the
takes
way you
two.
were
that's
leaning
a
over.
show. It's not real life. That's a show.
You were bent over
No, I
an
wanna
awful long way.
That guy did come over to me after the show. The Latin guy, right?
Uh-huh.
He had the worst breath of anybody I've ever seen in my entire
Isn't
life.
that disappointing?
Oh.
Too bad he was cute.
Sad.
He was from a distance, close up.
You could always give him a breath mint,
Yeah.
or just tell him what
I
to
know,
talk
but-
about.
Some people need more than a mint.
Yeah, he
They
did-
need a doctor.
I hope he's not. No, but it's like a Seinfeld episode, isn't it? He was great, but this no.
Actually, that's giving me an idea for an episode. Actually,
See?
the hot guy with bad breath.
No, you should. Everybody has a hot guy with something.
I'll
you know.
audition.
Cool.
I want to be offered.
Jason will audition.
Anyway,
he's
I have the bad
Jason's
breath
offers
down.
only.
So do I.
But I would love to find somebody, but it's hard. Ralph, do you have someone now?
No, I'm happily single.
Oh,
But
look at-
Ralph-
look at
Ralph
him.
was-
He said keep a distance. It's
Ralph was
basically-
in a relationship
for
Yeah,
100
for 12 years.
For 11 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And then your dad died, right?
and you're
Oh man!
and you. How long have you been in yours?
16 years.
And you have a gorgeous husband. I
Thank
keep
you.
saying I gotta get used to saying husband.
So that's a same
I-
guy, right? That when I
I
knew
would
you way
love
back
to
when?
say it. Are
Oh,
you kidding?
Wow,
A husband, a home,
Damn.
Poor thing.
and a beautiful reflection.
So you know what the
of
thing
my
is,
love's
though,
affection.
when you're done, you know
Sing
the thing is, Jason, give it up, okay? Do you sing in your show? I actually haven't come to see you yet. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
why-
will. I promise. Can I
Yeah,
get free tickets?
Yeah.
And there you go.
My point is, I've actually tried some of these dating sites, and you know,
Oh.
I'm not really famous, but I've been on a few things, right? It's a problem, you know. You'll meet these guys. They're actors. They'll say, "Oh, I want to find
Didn't I
out about
see you
acting."
in-
Yeah,
yeah.
could we get together and talk about my career? And I'm like, no, I'm really actually like
Not unless you're naked.
looking for something else. So it
Or
is-
you have dates with them, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, could you like put money in my project?"
Oh,
Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you sing in your show?
A little, yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult
I
you.
didn't say go fund me. I said go fuck me.
Exactly. So I had to take my picture off.
Bruce, you're adorable. Why would you insult me? Come on, look. I'm
Oh.
Jewish, gay, and a nightclub owner,
I
nightclub comedian.
Nightclub owner.
I don't want not
Suddenly-
owner. I'm Jewish, gay, and a nightclub comedian and an actor. How can you say something that would insult me?
Well,
Please.
I was just making
in this
sure.
business. Are you
I
kidding?
said I'd never seen your show, and that might be
Oh,
tantamount
it's-
to
ask-
getting mugged in the parking lot. You know,
Take
hopefully.
the persona
if
that's
I
been
play
on
my
the show.
cards right.
So, Bruce, where can people find you now that you're single?
All over West Hollywood.
Facebook?
No,
Do you give any of that out?
I'm just on Facebook. My name is Bruce L. Hart because there used to be a famous Bruce
Hart.
Hart, yeah, who died. Thank God.
Oh,
Now there's
thank
just
God.
one. So you can find me on Facebook or, just look me up on Adam for Adam or, no, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Grindr, whatever. What is that?
Take the Fifth.
Okay.
I'm too old.
Silence.
I'm
I noticed how that brought
Take the fifth.
That brought the show right down, didn't it?
I'm too old.
I go on Grindr all the time.
bless
I
you.
will
right
say
now.
this, okay? My internet age is 42, and I don't want to hear any
You could
remarks.
pass for it.
You
Thank
could
you.
pass for it.
All right, that was the
Grindr, there's always someone that wants to have sex with you. Honestly, sex is the easiest thing in the
So
world.
that's how you meet all those guys.
I don't meet a lot of guys. I don't, but they all want to meet me to have sex, but they don't. No one wants to actually go on a
Leon's
date.
sitting over here tweeting about you.
No,
Is
I'm
it?
not.
But Grindr doesn't work all the
checking
time.
Grindr.
I was
Works
somewhere
enough for me.
No, I was somewhere recently, and some guy walked up to the table and just started. They were like,
Honey, you're married. You
That's
don't even
the fear
understand
about
this.
Grindr.
Well, I thought,
mean,
what
how
the
do you
fuck?
control
I thought it was a
I mean,
fan.
what if you're like,
I just
he's still
assumed it was a
hot.
fan. But he
what,
was like,
you can't control it. What if you're there, having a very serious meeting or something, and somebody comes and says, "Oh, you're the guy with the big whatever,"
but
it's
obviously
like,
it got a little mixed up in its GPS
Honey,
system somehow.
Did he?
Yeah.
He just walked over to your table.
Well, I thought. Then he
so
was
you're
like, hey.
now you're saying you're not on Grindr. It wasn't you that he.
No, I should be.
Look
after
at all the
that.
married guys
I
on
wasn't.
this side
So
of
how
the
did?
room.
But it was someone. It was two
You-
tables over.
It's because you guys.
We're not saying that we're on Grindr. We're just
Jasper. None of you know how to work it because you don't really use it.
That's
And
right.
the three of us here know
Yeah, I don't
exactly
know.
what.
I don't think Ralph does.
I've never done Grindr.
But isn't it like if you're
All of a
on
sudden
it,
he's a blonde. Look at it.
Now he's black for real.
Jason? So if I were on Grindr and we were like strangers in a restaurant, wouldn't you be able to just tell, like, oh,
Now, number one,
This-
if I'm on Grindr,
It
I'm not
gives
in
you
a
a
fucking
location.
restaurant. I'm at home, naked, waiting for you to come over.
but I thought the whole point was
Happy
like,
Mother's
being able
Day.
to track people
Oh my
down.
God, my mom's gonna be listening to this.
Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. What am I gonna do? All right. Anyway,
Hopefully-
Your mom's
turn
liberal.
It off.
It's
Turn
cool.
it off.
It's cool. It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. she's
Your mom's
cool.
liberal.
Okay, Leon.
I'm
so
sorry, Mrs.
let's
Hart.
plug your.
Let's plug me
Let's
what?
plug you.
Okay, let's.
I know you're married, but
You were going to bring poppers, you said.
oh, and a tambourine also.
And the plug?
and a plug.
Where can the fans find
wearing
you?
it.
You're soaking in it.
My God, it is church.
It's getting hot in here. They can find Old Dog's New Tricks at olddogsnewtrickstheseries.com. They can also find me at a woefully unupdated website, leonacord.com, and that's LeonAcord.
Is there an Old Dogs website, or is the
Yeah,
website on YouTube?
Old Dogs New Tricks theseries.com.
So
The-
it's sort of-
theseries.com.
and it's attached to the YouTube
No, it's
page.
a separate website.
But
we also have a channel.
There's a
on
link.
YouTube.
Is there a link on the website?
There's a link on the website that will
takes
take
you to the
YouTube.
thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Max, we have to talk about your new book, Seek in
Yes.
Salvador. So tell us about your paranoid romantic caper.
Seek Salvador is a novel I wrote when I was living in New Mexico. We lived in New Mexico in this very remote part of southern New Mexico.
Oh, you have all the fun.
Near this small town that is the most conservative small town in America. These people think the Pope's a liberal. That's how backward it is. It's like it's so conservative it's hard to believe. Like you think, well, my friends won't believe this. And so I had to get out of there, but I had to write about it. And I had a friend who was a school teacher, and she was obsessed with Salvador Dali. And then I read about this school teacher in Texas over the border
who
who
isn't?
was fired from her job for showing Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo paintings to her students that were nudes, right? This is the right-wing religious nutcases, and they control this town. So I wrote this novel about this woman, and this is the town that burned the Harry Potter books. It was on CNN.
It was big news.
Yeah, the work of the devil, Harry Potter, right? So I'm hoping, this came out on Kindle, so
I saw him nude in Equus.
I'm hoping that when they read this and find out it bashes the town, they'll all burn their fucking Kindles.
That would be great. That'd be good publicity.
Where
You
can we
could
get
call
the-
Jonathan
Kindling.
Jackson.
Where can we
Just
get
the
the book?
Kindles, not the iPad.
How do we get the book?
It's on Amazon as a Kindle, and it'll be on paperback by the end of the week.
Paranoid romantic caper.
Yeah, and she runs off to Europe and meets a French art thief, and changes her life completely.
When the man of your dreams is also the man of your nightmare.
That's right.
Isn't that usually how it
It
That's
sounds
usually
like
how it-
Lifetime, doesn't it? Lifetime
Yes.
Channel. Maybe it can become a film.
No.
It's sort
Wow.
of a romance and crime caper thing at the same time. But,
Starring Amanda, right?
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Did you write it while you were still living in New Mexico? Or
I
did you guys move back?
started it there, and then I went to Toronto, and I.
That's interesting because I thought New Mexico had this reputation of being like so
free and open.
New Mexico is the most diverse state in the United States. It varies from extremely progressive liberal in Santa Fe to the southern part, like Alamogordo, where it's so conservative not to be believed. The whole range.
It's like California.
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, they have churches there where you take LSD, and then they have people who think that gay people shouldn't be able to vote. So,
well, some of us,
I think gay people shouldn't be allowed to pay taxes. That's what I think.
I don't think we should have
Tax exempt, like Scientologists.
Taxes should be between a man and a woman.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I agree with that representation and all that. If we're
excellent.
not part of the whole picture,
yes.
then we
Right.
shouldn't have
and
to.
straight
pay
people should not be allowed to get divorced.
Exactly.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Let them
Right.
stay together until they
I
die.
love
So
that.
let me bring
Until
up this.
we can get married, and I'll give. I am ranked number 7 on Ranker for one of the best gay marriage jokes. And the joke is, "Come on, straight people! It's the year 2013. If you let us marry each other, we'll stop marrying you."
Okay.
Yes,
That's
nice.
good. That's a good one. Let's talk about gay marriage and dogma and Prop 8. What do you think? Supreme Court.
I want to be married. I just want a prenup.
I think when Bill O'Reilly and Sarah Palin come out to support gay marriage, it's time to give it the fuck up.
Did they really?
I think the genie's out of the bottle. I think it's going to
Sarah
happen.
Palin
and
did
I think
it?
my
No.
childhood
Did she?
dream of
Yes.
getting married is going to happen. I always thought I could get married, and my mother was the one who had to gently break the news to me that, no, honey, you actually can't get married, but sometimes a man and a man love each other so much that they want to have a committed life together.
Wow.
Thank God she told
why
me
do
that.
we want to be part of an archaic institution
Thank you.
that's just seen its day?
That's
and
not the
was
question,
created-
gentlemen, and you know that.
No, my feeling
Don't-
is I'm
it's-
all for choice. I think
Yes.
Jason
it's got to
said
be
focus.
equality. We all have to be equal, and that means choice. Whether
Yes.
you personally want to be married or not is another thing, but
Exactly.
you should have the option to
I
have
don't
every opportunity.
Every
that
American
people have.
citizen
want to
should
go
have
into
the
something
choice.
negative, but I mean,
agree.
you know, there's the whole thing like, what if your partner passes away? And I'm using the word partner. I used to say lover because I'm so old, but anyway, he passes away.
You are,
and-
because you said you were 54. I heard you.
All right, say it again. Say it again. Anyway, so you go to the hospital and you're not allowed into the room because you're not legally together. I mean, this
But
is.
see, there are things you can do.
Yeah.
Legally,
No, there was a whole thing on Rachel Maddow, one of these lesbian shows where they talk a lot. I was listening on the radio where they didn't have their paperwork, or some woman was mad and they made them get
Why
out.
the fuck should you have to
didn't
have this
her
goddamn
papers.
motherfucking paperwork? Excuse my language. You know, nobody else does. They get a goddamn.
If someone
pass,
tried to
you
get me
know?
out from my partner
You
in a
realize that it doesn't
hospital,
matter what language you use. You realize
I'd be
that
like
they
Shirley
told us-
MacLaine in terms of
you know,
endearment times 10.
all
I
I'm
mean,
saying
I
is-
would bring that motherfucker down.
Anybody can go to Las Vegas if they're a man and a woman.
They
get married.
did. They
just can do it.
They were
you
on
know?
one of the shows on Sirius Radio, and they talked about it. And there was this couple or this guy that called in and said that his boyfriend, lover, husband had the papers signed, and he was very ill, and they
I
would
saw
not.
that.
Yeah, you heard about it, and they would not. And they made the boyfriend get out. They were going to have him arrested, and the boyfriend decided not to get arrested, to go home, get the papers, come back, and they sued him. But the boyfriend never forgave him. I don't know what the deal with him with those two were, but there was a lot of drama there.
Is
But it was terrible.
Unconscionable that
Yeah.
this kind of thing can be going on in this day
And this
age.
was in New
And
York.
I am
It was
just-
in New York. Do you remember hearing it? It was in New
Yes,
York.
and it went on a whole lot in the 80s too. Don't forget.
Yeah,
We had
with the
people dying.
Tons
with the
in the
AIDS
80s.
But we're
crisis,
talking
especially.
2013 now.
So I know exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But I agree with
Have
you,
we
Bruce.
not
It's a civil
progressed?
right,
And
it's a
it's
civil
Thank
right.
you.
And even if you're not partners, if you're best friends, who gives a rat's ass the gender of the person who's seeing you in the...
yeah, that's
What
a,
is
that's
it
a really-
anybody's fucking business?
If the person who's sick and says, "Hey, I want
Santa Claus to stay with me," you let Santa Claus come in and stay
I want
with him.
Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, just don't let her tweet.
Yeah, take the phone away from her.
Well, do you think the Supreme Court's going to rule in our favor?
Oh, I don't know.
Because
I
that'd
think
be so
so.
embarrassing.
I really hope
I
so.
don't.
I think so. Yes.
I mean, can I be really honest? You can never.
You can't. You
Who
can't.
knew
tell.
that this was going to happen?
I know.
When
I
we
feel
got
it.
we got the marriage here, but I do feel that if it doesn't happen, it's going to be a whole lot of a shitstorm.
I think it's going to be shitstorm either way. If it
Yeah.
doesn't pass, gays are going to fucking freak.
I
And
think-
if it does
I think-
pass, straight people are
I
going to lose
think,
their shit.
especially those of us that have lived this long. I mean, seriously,
Some
we've
straight
seen
people.
a lot of
'Cause
stuff.
you're
you know?
54.
No, yeah, I am 54, and you know what? Seriously, Jason, all kidding aside, I watched.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell my age. I was going to drop dead.
Seriously
68.
cool to be gay in the late 70s until AIDS and HIV came in. And
That's
the
true,
Reagan
actually. That is true.
We hit this wall, and then it took us forever to pull ourselves out of it. And now here we are, I'm going to keep talking for a minute.
Go
so
ahead.
stop. Don't tell anyone anecdotes. Here we are. We're finally at this point, and I actually think the genie's out of the bottle. I think there are enough young people and enough old people that they're saying this has got to stop.
Right.
And you know what? Maybe the one thing that happens under the Obama administration where it actually gets passed, and I'm an Obama supporter, by the way, but what I'm saying is he's had a lot of, blockage and obstructionism. I think this thing
He
might
should
actually,
use those laxatives.
This thing might actually happen. So there, I'm done.
No, I
now you may talk.
We got Rhode Island. We got 10
let's give her a
states.
hit.
Well, the fact
That's
that
critical mass.
Iowa has gay marriage and California doesn't.
And how many gay
That's
people are in
insane.
Iowa? There's
I mean,
3.
it's
And
embarrassing.
one of them can't even find somebody because
They
there's
can't-
only 3 gay people.
You can't. Yeah, they're in the cornfield.
Their grinder was all
farmers
fucked
and
up.
Monsanto. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what you said is true. The young generation is what's pushing
Yeah.
this now. They don't give a shit. They've grown up.
I think Leon, you're wrong. I think there will not be a shitstorm from the straight people. I think.
have you been to Indiana recently?
Yeah, but I think there will be a fraction of people. But let's be honest.
No, I'm not saying all straight people.
Yeah, but I think
because the majority of straight people
Right.
actually support it.
And
I'm
the
saying
other-
the straight people who do not support are going to lose their
Well, the
fucking
crackpots, but the crackpots have really.
They're not all crackpots. You can't put them all in that
Okay, then I
category.
say the people who are doing that are the same.
I have aunts and uncles and cousins and nephews and nieces who will lose their shit if this happens. I'm lucky enough to have parents and nieces who are very supportive. But there are a lot of people out
But
there
look
who
what happened-
just cannot
But
get
look
their
what
head
happened. Look what
around
happened
it.
with the abortion issue, with the Republicans issue, and what happened with the abortion issue for women and the women's rights issue. That's what.
And
they
Go
so-
to Indiana and hold a pro-abortion sign in a mall in Indiana. You will die.
You know
Well,
what?
but
I mean, it's not,
but I
we're
do-
not that
Get
far along.
I'm
over
talking
it.
about as a country, not state by state, but as a country. And also, there are different pockets of because I've toured so
Sure.
much. There are different pockets all over the country. So
Oh,
I don't-
absolutely.
So you
There
can
are-
no longer say that the Midwest all votes this way. There are places all over that are embarrassed.
That is true,
that
but
are embarrassed of
for
this.
example, Indiana, there are pockets of liberal, but the state as a majority, except for the first time
People will
Obama,
get over it.
always goes conservative.
When
always,
it
except
finally
for-
passes at the Supreme Court level, there'll be a little
Well, see,
bit of
that's the thing that's
backlash, a little
scary.
bit of violence. People will get over it. It's
I
just
think
like
the po-
interracial marriage.
I think
It's
the
just
population
like the
is
civil
for
rights
it.
with blacks and whites.
you.
There's look. I mean, we still have major racism.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
But we still it still got passed, and we swung a different pendulum went
Yeah.
the other way. So
It's
I
not.
think
It's not. You're right. You're right, Jasper. It's not the end.
No.
Because we're
no,
still
no.
dealing with racism. We're still dealing with
And there
sexism.
will
because remember with civil
constantly
rights,
come
it got
back.
worse for many
Oh,
blacks after
Oh, yeah.
that. So I think
That's what I'm
I have
saying.
this
There'll be
fantasy that
violence, there'll be- go
as
ahead.
Obama is leaving office, you know how they're able to pass certain laws. If depending on how many states have already passed in 3 years, I have a feeling he's going to
Has
make
it been 10?
a
Are we up to
federal
10
law
now?
before he leaves.
10.
I
That
pray
would
to
be
God. I pray to God. And
Rhode Island.
That would be really cool.
I pray to God I find somebody before this happens because if I don't, I
Such
swear to
pressure
God,
now.
I really want my father, is rich, and I want a big wedding, and I want to go to Target, and I want to sign up and get shit for free, and
yeah,
be
you
your
wanted the
matron of honor?
registry.
I
and
want
the
to
whole
register.
thing.
I want everything.
Yes.
I want Streisand to sing. I finally found somebody as I walked through the aisle.
God.
I finally found someone, and then I want Bryan Adams to walk out.
Wow.
Just after that, they'll outlaw gay marriage. just
Apparently,
from that
Taylor
one.
Swift is the #1 singer at gay weddings right
you
now.
No.
Oh, I read that yesterday online. That
No, that little skinny bitch.
she's being booked for the
God,
most
remember when gay men had
weddings.
taste? What happened to that?
Are you really serious?
No, it was on the internet. On the internet. It
Young
must
gay
be
men
true.
or
No,
dumb gay
I
men
can't-
or
over
that's-
Lady Gaga, even Britney drunk
Well,
Spears.
Lady Gaga got fat and people dumped her. They don't like her now. She
Are you
got fat.
serious?
Yeah, she gained 20 pounds.
It's because she
She's-
ate that meat dress.
She's done. She's still fucking the hot guy on Chicago Fire. That's her boyfriend now. So
Did she lose a little bit of that weight?
I haven't seen her. She quit calling.
She had a hip.
But she's welcome on the show anytime.
Anytime, lady.
She had a hip replacement. I don't know how that.
Is that what happened?
I don't know those fucking shoes.
A
Christ.
hip replacement at her age?
I know, it was really weird. Yeah.
Wow.
But I hear she's lost the weight now. She's a brunette.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she's back again.
Yeah,
But,
I mean-
the gays turned. They turned on her. She got fat.
Oh,
and they were
please.
like,
Britney
out.
Spears, we loved it. We didn't care. Where are my kids? Where are my kids? They kicked her off the show. What was she on? She was on X Factor.
X Factor.
Because she says 3 words. What'd you think? You were really funny and entertaining. And that's it.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Because
she goes,
someone kicked Nicki Minaj off American Idol.
Oh,
before we get,
a black woman with a blonde wig, and then she draws in the black roots. Dear God, what a complete retard! I'm sorry. I mean, you want to hear my jokes about that? CeeLo's on the show. He's like this big beach ball.
It's a different show, but go ahead.
No, but I understand.
I know. They're all the same.
This is what happened. Christina Aguilera, who was a genie in the bottle, is now a pig in the blanket. She took a bite out of CeeLo, who is a giant beach ball
He
with
has
arms.
hands.
No, he looked like a beach ball with hands. So she took a bite out of him, and Nicki Minaj popped out and walked over to the other show with Paula Abdul, who doesn't know what show she's on. She just shows up and starts judging people. And I just think you kids, they're all so
And Mariah Carey can't say anything. She can't even stand up.
She is driving.
Well, she's top heavy.
You know why? Because one of the tits fell out, and Nick Canada's under the desk sucking
She
it.
said she said the train on her dress is too heavy for her to give standing ovations.
it's
I think her audience should say that next time she's singing.
I think it's because Nicki Minaj is holding on to it. You know, it's talent and no talent. She's talented. She can do whatever she wants, as far as I'm concerned.
Mariah can.
Yeah, but Nicki.
There's no Whitney. There's no Whitney.
No.
Whitney's dead, honey.
Oh, honey, please. And
I
Whitney
know,
was no
But
Donna.
I think Whitney inspired a lot of us, though. I know. The other night I had a bath, and I before I got before I got in the bath, I took 3 Xanax and a bottle of wine. But I wore a life jacket.
And you survived. Did Bobby Brown come in at some point?
Barbara said it best when she tweeted, "Beautiful, talented, but it wasn't enough." That's what Barbara said. And when Barbara says it, we all have to take a moment.
Oh, not all of us.
Because she's 106. She doesn't know what's going on right now.
So is Lady Gaga? Is Lady Gaga the new gay icon?
I would think so, but maybe I'm out of it. I don't know. Barbara's coming back. She's touring right now. She's coming back.
She's making a lot of an effort to be more out in public too. She's on award shows. She's doing a lot.
I know she's been around.
Do you think that's so because she wants to make this movie, the remake
Gypsy?
of Gypsy yet again? Do you think that's why she's like, oh, I got to get people back? You know, I want.
Well,
people
did
to
you
watch
see
this
she
thing,
lost
you know?
the normal heart? You know, for years she was going to make the normal
Yeah.
heart.
Oh,
and now
and then-
Ryan Murphy's doing it.
And he went berserk. I mean, Larry Kramer went berserk when that happened.
Yeah, but he trumped Barbara and he got it. So.
Oh, I know. I don't know. How do you guys think about that?
Mark Ruffalo's in it and Matt Bomer.
It scares me that a straight man is going to play one of the most gay iconic roles. That
He's
scares
playing
me.
Ned
me
Weeks.
too.
Yeah, but and the part as a Jew. It's a very I've played the part before, so it's a difficult part to play.
I'm really sick of straight men playing gay parts.
It's going to be
Yeah,
difficult.
I agree.
He's a wonderful.
let me
he
rephrase that because actors should play any part that they can play, but I'm really tired of this resistance to cast gay actors in gay roles.
They're always in the supporting
Such a big deal
part.
when a straight guy plays a gay guy. You know.
Oh yeah, it's like,
look,
oh how brave.
He's
oh
married,
fuck
but
you.
you know he's playing. You know, it's like,
Well, it's a very difficult part
much
to do
wine.
it.
How do you
It's a
really
very,
feel?
It's a very.
He's sprinkling it. He's got Neil Patrick and the kid.
Is Neil Patrick doing it?
Yeah, Matt Bomer's.
Matt Bomer's. I didn't know
And
Neil
who's
Patrick.
on the
Good.
Big Bang Theory?
Jim Parsons.
Jim Parsons.
Yeah,
he's got his gay sprinkled throughout, but
But is Neil Patrick doing it?
he's in it.
What is he
So
playing?
I don't know. I saw it was in the breakdowns, but I didn't see.
Oh, and
what-
the big director, the brother,
Julia Roberts is in it also.
What?
Joe Montana.
No, not Joe Montana.
Julia's playing the doctor.
Joe
Yeah,
Mantello.
Dr. Emma.
She can do it.
Joe
Wow.
Mantello.
Yeah.
Joe Mantello is playing Mickey, which is a really great
Right.
part. It's the part that I wanted to play. I auditioned for a part, and I'm waiting to hear.
Oh.
So
If it-
That's
if
exciting.
it happens,
Yeah.
I will drop dead. I won't even be able to do it.
But maybe they can get it on camera so they can.
Yeah, I play this guy who is Phil. I think it was Phil or Richard or something. One of these. They played a guy who worked for Koch. And this really terrible conservative gay guy, and I grew my hair out and everything, and it was really fun. I put an audition on tape. I'm hoping. You know.
Good luck.
So everybody,
Let us know.
Yeah, oh, you kidding? Everyone's gonna know. I'm gonna be on the top of my
Thank
apartment
you. You'll
building.
be shouting it from
Are
the-
you kidding? That's
Well, listen,
You know,
guys.
that's one tact I haven't tried is being on top of buildings.
I actually went for this, and I pulled every gay card I could to get this audition.
Good for you.
And they called and said, "Of course, we're going to audition him."
Good.
And now let's see if I can get it. You know.
Well, time is flying, guys. Thank you so much. I want to thank our sponsors, Wayman Productions, Imagine That Productions, and Tyrone Artworks. And happy Mother's Day next
all our
weekend to
mamas.
everyone.
Love my mom.
And please follow us on Facebook, On the Set with Jasper Cole, to our 150,000 Twitter followers at On the Set W Jasper, and our website, onthesetwithjaspercole.com. Ralph, thanks again for showing up.
Thank
as
you,
always.
for
Jasper.
showing up.
It's always good to see your face.
and
as always.
supplying
Thank you,
the
Jasper.
liquor.
Jason Stuart, everyone go out, check jasonstuart.com, check his website, find all the tour dates, everything he's doing. Bruce Hart, Leon Acord, congrats on Old Dogs and New Tricks.
Thank you.
Much
Thank you.
continued success.
Thank you.
Max Mitchell,
Old tricks.
you have some old tricks. You have some comedy dates coming up, right?
I'm at Barbara Morrison on the 14th, and then Fubar on the 17th, and Toronto Pride in June.
And
Wow.
your new book, Seeking Salvador.
Work it.
It's a
available.
novel on Amazon. Seeking Salvador just came out. Yes.
Everybody check that out. And
MaxMitchell.ca.
That's right. You're listening to On the Set with Jasper Cole. We will be back on June 2nd. And again, thanks everyone. Be safe. And we'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye, Planet Eartha. Thank you.
Don't miss a minute of On the Set with Jasper Cole. And get the inside scoop on everything going on behind the scenes in Hollywood.